Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. SAPS crime intelligence boss Dumisani Khumalo is the latest witness expected to testify before the Madlanga Commission today. Khumalo will give his version on claims that police and the judiciary are allegedly being controlled by powerful business people linked to drug cartels in Gauteng. He's currently out on bail following his arrest on fraud and corruption charges for the alleged irregular appointment of an unqualified official into a senior role within crime intelligence. Oren Singh reports.
Crime intelligence boss Dumisani Khumalo will be expected to delve into the inner workings of the Gauteng Counterintelligence Operations Team, labelled as the driving force behind unravelling corruption within the criminal justice system in the province. Testifying before the Madlanga Commission last week, National Police Commissioner Fani Masimola explained how Khumalo requested 10 members of the KZN Political Killings Task Team to assist the counterintelligence team in Gauteng. This after members of the Gauteng unit began receiving threats on their lives due to their probes into powerful figures in the province.
If the KwaZulu-Natal Political Killings Task Team members didn't come to Gauteng, we would not have the arrest of Abu Mulefe, the arrest of Abu Ket.
Khumalo was appointed the project coordinator for the KZN Political Killings Task Team during its establishment in 2018. Arun Singh, Eyewitness News.
It's expected to be a testing week for the relationship between the ANC and Patriotic Alliance in Joburg as the two parties prepare to meet to iron out tensions. The PA is demanding the reinstatement of Kenny Gunene as Joburg's transport MMC after he stepped down 2 months ago. Gunene was found at Katiso Katie Mulife's house during the alleged crime kingpin's arrest for the murder of Opa Sifuka, popularly known as DJ Sambodi. Gunene was last week cleared by the PA of any wrongdoing. PA leader Gayton McKenzie says Gunene's position could be the breaking point for the coalition.
Tuesday morning, if I don't resign, you must never vote for the PA again. You must never. If I don't resign, the only thing that will make me stay is if his Kenny Gunene is being reinstated.
Some frustrated community members at Merimi Informal Settlement in So Shangu, north of Pretoria, say they've been abandoned by government following calls to be relocated from the area over safety concerns. They say the brutal attack that left 6 community patrollers dead earlier this year has caused fear and anxiety. The patrollers were part of a group that was stoned and set alight by unknown attackers. Jabulile Mbata reports.
The family of one of the slain patrollers has accused government of failing to honor a number of promises made after the attack. Another sibling from the same family survived the attack but was left severely injured. The mother of the 2 boys says Premier Panyaza Lesufi promised to relocate them to a new area, provide them with food parcels for up to 6 months, counseling and free medical help. She says she hasn't received the help promised to the family. Tshwane MMC for Human Settlements Aaron Malulega addressed the matter.
There was no specific promise from ourselves about the families. It was only Premier Lesufi who said we need to make sure that these families have decent shelter.
The area's local councillor Tepo Malifane says work is being done to respond to the family's needs.
We are hoping that by the end of this year, we would have formally communicated to the families.
1 person was arrested for the attack. Jabulile Mbata, Eyewitness News.
And at least 5 people have been killed and several others injured in the U.S. after a gunman stormed a church in Michigan. Police say the suspect drove his car into the building and opened fire and set it ablaze. Officials say the attack on the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints happened during a Sunday service that attracted hundreds of people. The suspect, identified as 40-year-old Thomas Jacob Sanford, was later shot dead by police outside the church. Here's the police's chief, William Rainey.
He ran the vehicle through the front door, exited, then started firing shots. We are still trying to determine exactly when and where that fire ended up coming from and how it got started. So we believe it was deliberately set, though, by the suspect.
Gold is trading at $3,769.66 an ounce. The rand is at 17.34 to the dollar, 23.27 to the pound, 20.31 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $70.13 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got an accident on the M1 South. It happened after Boyson's Road, delays towards Xavier Street. The M1 North is also backed up as a result of on Lucas. Please be on the lookout there. The delays are as you come out of the Uncle Charlie's interchange. Traveling on the N3 North, we've got another accident scene near Van Buren Road, delays from the Elands interchange.
And in your sport, Europe retains the Ryder Cup despite a late American fight back. Arsenal up to second in the Premier League with a stoppage time win at Newcastle. Proteas women win their final World Cup warm-up ODI and a best ever finish at the Youth Netball World Cup for the baby Proteas.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with widespread showers and thunder showers expected. Johannesburg starting at 10 degrees, peaking at 21. Pretoria 15 and 22. For the Inageng 12 and 20 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. SAPS crime intelligence boss Dumisani Khumalo is the latest witness expected to testify before the Madlanga Commission today.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
7 minutes after 6 o'clock, you're listening to 702 Breakfast on this Monday morning. It's the 29th of September, the year of our Lord 2025. Welcome one, welcome all, wherever you are listening to us from around Gauteng and beyond. Are you in Basonia, Glen Vista, Oakdean, Winchester Hills? Maybe you're in Malbarton or a little further, Merton. Are you in Three Rivers, in Vereeniging? In Thunderbale Park, in Sasolburg. Do we still call it Sasolburg? It's one of those names that didn't change. People say Zamdela. Do you know Zamdela, Amo?
Where's Zamdela?
Zamzam. Zamdela. Edelela.
Where is that?
It's in Sasolburg. It's in Sasolburg. If you're in the Vaal, wherever you are listening to us from, welcome to the program. Our mission, as always, is to tell you what's going on in the world, why it matters, and how it will impact you. We love to hear about what's happening in your world as part of our conversation. I'm not alone, of course, as you've heard. Amukhela Nglamila is here on traffic. Good morning, young lady.
Good morning, Bongani.
Did you have a good weekend?
Looking absolutely fine this morning.
Don't I always?
No, not when you're in your gym tracks.
My gym, and who makes sure that I'm in my gym tracks?
Me.
Yeah, there we go. Today I'm all suited up though, because one must wear these
once in a
things.
while.
If you want to see us, by the way, you can check us out on our YouTube streaming channel. We're live. Muteo Kharipe not here this morning. Welcome back, Raim Klope.
Good morning. Nice to be with you.
Does anyone else ever call you Raim Klope?
All the time.
All the time.
I think it was Reedy who started this years ago.
Is that it is?
And that's where it is.
Is that what it is? Ray White here for Muteo with business news. I hope you had a fantastic weekend because mine was absolutely amazing. And I gotta tell you, the moment that I knew this Monday would be a good one. Remember this? And if you don't understand what that was all about, here's a translation that's not nearly as dramatic.
Inside his own half, can he get a 50-22 here? Well, he's chasing his own kick. So to Kanan Mooney! And Flanberg and Gomezulu outpacing Argentina's defense.
What a moment. Did you watch the rugby? Did you enjoy the rugby? Sasha Feinberg and Gomezulu scoring the most points by any Springbok in a test match, smashing Percy Montgomery's record. Somebody said yesterday, I think it was Derek Honeycomb, the former minister, who tweeted that he'd seen Brian Habana at his best, and this was better. This was better. Ray?
Sure. Yeah, look, 3 tries. 3 tries. I felt for Cheslin Colby, though, that drop kick. He kind of dropped it to pass it to Sasha, and the guy picks it up and scores. And Rassi just said it was a brain beep. That's all it was.
I mean, it was absolutely fantastic. Sasha Feinberg, the Springbok fly half, really stealing everything that came with that rugby game. And Kings Park looked absolutely fantastic. It was full, the fierce, the spirit was all there. And Sasha Feinberg and Gomezulu thanking everybody who supported him.
Everyone, thank you for the support today. That was a fun way to top off our last game at home. That was so enjoyable. We loved every moment, and we can't do it without you guys. So thank you. Lots of love. Thank you.
That was Saturday, And of course, as if that was not enough, we also had some absolutely fantastic times with Arsenal yesterday. The Arsenal victory late in the day, the Arsenal goals that came in that were absolutely fantastic. Did you watch that match? Arsenal versus Newcastle last night was an absolute thriller, an absolute humdinger. What was your weekend like? What did you get up to? On the morning show today, we are looking at allegations that have emerged. They were in the Sunday Times yesterday, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. If you're a Joburg resident who's tried for whatever reason to get your original plans to your home, to your house, maybe you want to renovate, maybe you're trying to sell, and you're looking for the original plans of the house as it was in the beginning, have you had any difficulties trying to get hold of those plans? The Sunday Times alleging that not only will it be difficult for you to get those plans because I think the building has moved and so officials are trying to get up to speed with where things might be in the new one, but now some of them, it appears, allegedly solicit bribes to get those plans for you. So for the low price of, 2,000 rand, they might find those plans for you. We'll speak to David Fleminger, who's the chairperson of the Heritage Foundation in Johannesburg, who's going to explain why that repository of information cannot be lost nor compromised. Now, here's a question. And normally we have a shout out to illustrate something we want to talk about in the news, but today I'm going to be direct. Would you follow an instruction by your boss, by your superiors, by your spouse? And maybe not an instruction, maybe a request, whatever it is. But you know, if you don't go along, it's over. It's over. Not over, it's over. Your job, over. Your marriage, over. Your friendship, over. If you don't follow this request or instruction. And if you're an older person, right? If you're an older person, if you're facing retirement and you know you don't have very many options, what do you do? And by the way, everybody else is doing it, right? Everybody else is going along to get along. Would you really stand on principle and lose it all? Or would you try and A, protect yourself and try and contain as much damage as you can, knowing that if you don't, the next person would, and they'll go the full hilt? So really, we all want to say, I'd stand up and I'd do the right thing. That's what we think we would do. But would we really, Ray?
Well, being a journalist is the big thing, because if you have a situation where you are told do A, B, and C, and you don't, you lose your job, right? So you've got mouths to feed. You've got people at home who depend on you, but you're a journalist, so you can't waver. And I think journalists see that most of all out of many sectors, whistleblowers as well. You take that stand, you lose everything. Who's going to feed your family? You've got to take you have to. You just have to say no. But there's that.
There was a stunning moment, you may recall, in the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry where the National Police Commissioner, General Fani Masimula, was questioned by the chair, who said, you, chap, in your opening statement, said you wouldn't do anything you thought was unlawful. And yet here you were, effecting the decision to disband the political killings task team, which you thought was beyond the minister's mandate.
Yeah.
You went along anyway. And he squirmed and he smiled, but he did it. There was an interesting opinion piece in the Sunday Times yesterday by Stembiso Msomi, who essentially argues that many of these directors general in departments are CEOs. That's how high level they are. But many are simply there to do the bidding of their political principles. And many find it impossible to say no. Would you? Let us know. Send us a WhatsApp voice note on 072-702-1702. We'll take your calls on 011-883-0702.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
America ablaze, I would say, in some ways. 5 people killed and several others injured in the U.S. after a gunman stormed a church in Michigan. This is an attack on the Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints, more commonly known as the Mormon Church, and it happened during a Sunday service that attracts hundreds of people. The suspect, identified as a 40-year-old, was later shot and killed by police outside the church. I mean, what on earth would make somebody do that? We've seen this kind of attack on worshippers in a church. You remember the one at the Methodist Church in America a couple of years ago. So it really is a worrying story. We'll get more details, obviously, as the day unfolds. And keeping an eye on what happens next at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. The SAPS crime intelligence boss from Gauteng, Dumisani Khumalo, expected now to testify. He'll give his version on claims that police and the judiciary might be controlled by powerful interests linked to criminal syndicates. Yep, you heard it right.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
7:02 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
Right, 17 after 6. Ray White, good morning.
Good
You
morning.
have a
once
question
again.
of your own?
I do. What is the one thing that you want to buy, but it's just out of your reach? It's your desirable. I can't.
A retirement home.
I
would
not
love
yet.
to.
Not yet, I tell you.
It's not just out of my reach. It's quite far away from my reach.
What is it, Ray? A luxury bag. I often speak about luxury bags. I want those Louis Vuitton bags. I want.
Explain the fascination of these
It's
luxury
the
bags.
quality.
So hold on. So I have a friend who buys quite a lot of these things because she can, and God bless her. But I always think to myself, what does a 50,000 rand bag, and they can really be.
Yeah.
And I'm actually being
It can go
conservative.
above.
They
Yeah.
can go quite considerably above that.
Mm.
But what does a 50,000 rand bag do for you that, I don't know, a 5,000 rand bag? I would already think a 5,000 rand bag is a lot.
Should be fine.
But what does the one do?
It's the quality. It lasts long. You can hand it over to your next generation if you want, and it can still be kept in the same quality that it would have been. So I definitely say the quality and just the idea that you can afford it.
Okay.
So it's really it's the look.
No, it's both.
It's
The
so
look and the quality.
So here's what I'm thinking.
Mhm.
Surely, instead of buying one 50,000 rand bag, if the argument is about quality and preserving it, right? Wouldn't one want to buy, I don't know, 4 5,000 rand bags? And so then they last as long because you don't wear them.
To each their own.
You're not going to win this one.
It's the same as buying the same, and you would relate to the Spongs, the same color shoes. I mean, the same brand of a shoe, but in different colors.
Or a watch, because the
Exactly.
bag may not be my thing,
Mhm.
but maybe a watch.
Maybe
somebody
your
else
thing.
can relate to a watch
Sure.
before we judge, right?
Uh-huh.
Be careful. Okay, so question is, what is that one thing that's on your bucket list you want to save up for, but it's just out of your reach at the moment?
You just can't get it.
I wonder what prompts the question.
7:02.
Weather.
20 after 6, really, really welcome rains starting yesterday. So a cloudy day in store for Gauteng today. More widespread showers and thunder showers expected. Temperatures will peak at 21 in Johannesburg, 22 in Pretoria, 20 for Vereeniging. Further afield in Bombela, your high there is 17. It's 22 in Bloemfontein. Durban, cloudy, also showers and rain, peaking at 18 degrees. Durban maxes at 19. It's London 17.
EWN Traffic.
20 after 6. Now, this Eyewitness News traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Amo?
Yeah, Bongani, as you state that we do have those rains. So as a result, it is raining in some parts of Joburg. If you're traveling on the roads, please keep a safe following distance. Make sure that your headlights are on and drive with care. If you're traveling at this particular moment on the M1 South, we've got an accident reported. It's right near Xavier Street. It's causing delays. The M1 North is also backed up due to onlookers while traveling in or towards Bedford Bedford View. We've got another accident seen on the N12 West. It happened near the Kilulis interchange. Delays from Edenville Road. The R24 West is also backed up. On the N1 South, leaving Midrand, another accident scene reported right after Allendale Road. It's causing delays towards the Baklu interchange. I'll have more traffic updates for you, but if you come across anything else, we're on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
20 years ago, you were driving to the airport for that epic holiday, maybe your first overseas one, hey? Guess what? 20 years ago, the OUTsurance pointsmen were already on the roads, easing traffic congestion. So whether you are an OUTsurance client or not, we've all been getting something out. So show the OUTsurance pointsmen some love this month and celebrate this 20th anniversary using hashtag pointsmanlove. Whether in Joburg, Tshwane, Paarl, Stellenbosch, celebrate. OUTsurance really means it when they say you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702, OUTsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702. Serving the 702 family in 702 land, including those of you in the vibrant neighborhood of Rosebank. Rosebank has undergone a major facelift in recent years. There's been an extensive redevelopment of shopping malls and the construction of new corporate headquarters, apartment blocks, restaurants and hotels. Its residents and visitors are served by the Gautrain. Rosebank is also known for its thriving art scene, with numerous galleries and the Keys Art Mile showcasing local and international talent. 702. Let's walk the talk across 702 land, including Rosebank.
Betway's exclusive new games are taking the world by storm. Featuring massive Megaways jackpots. Take your shot on Cash and Riches, Wolf Blaze, Gallo Gold Brunos, and many more incredible experiences for you to choose from. You're guaranteed to find a new ultra fun favorite. Get way more only at Betway. Betway is licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No persons under the age of 18 are permitted to gamble. NRGP counseling line 0800 006 008. All events are fixed odds betting games.
What was known as the swimming pool road in Everton West due to severe waterlogging is now a safely engineered road. When the National Department of Transport called on Sunral for help, we showed up, upgrading it to the highest standards of safety and quality. Today, the community of Ekurhuleni local municipality have an access road that they can rely on and be proud of. Sunral, an agency of the Department of Transport.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
The bank Signia is warning investors it deals with that they should not put more than 5% of their discretionary assets or living annuities into crypto funds.
All of a sudden, you have a lot of unsophisticated investors trying to benefit from what is a highly volatile asset with no real economic underpin to it, and which to date has been used as a speculative investment.
Magda Wazitskia is the co-founder of Signia.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show, Stephen Curtis, is brought to you by ABSA, proud sponsor of South African Auto Week 2025. Your partner in growth, powering a sustainable future together. ABSA is an authorized FSP and a registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Mr. Bingwa, and good morning to your 702 listeners. The one expensive item that I always want to buy is the PlayStation 5. You know, I've been meaning to buy that thing for the past 3 years, I think. But every time I'm in a position to buy it, there's always something that has to be done at the house. We have to redo the ceiling. We have to put a new sink in. We have to retile the porch. It's always something that comes up that prevents me from buying the PlayStation 5. So I've kind of made peace with it. So yeah, the PlayStation 5. This is Eugene from So Shangu.
Eugene from So Shangu. Don't I know it? Listen, nothing is a bigger scam in this life than buying or owning a house, right? Because there's always something to repair. I bet you now that many people sitting in their cars, driving to work, and after the last night's rain, you now know where the leak is, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you didn't know there was a leak in your house, now you know where the leak is.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
26 after 6, things you need to know at this hour. There's some concerns now about what happens next at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, because evidence leader Advocate Terry Mudau is understood to have requested to step down in that role as the chief evidence leader. Of course, having already worked on the commission, that may very definitely mean delays and the kind of timelines that were outlined by the president. And he himself, by the way, when he made his opening remarks on that first day, might now be under serious jeopardy. We don't yet know what the reasons are, but reporting of the weekend suggesting he's requested to leave the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. What that is about is a little unclear at this stage, and of course it's a story we'll keep an eye on. So, before the commission then, as I told you earlier, the suspended crime intelligence boss, Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo, will be testifying next at the commission. In the world view, Adam Gilchrist has a story from India. A deadly stampede killed 40 people at a political rally. It's an event that was led by an actor who's now turned a politician. His name is Vijay. And his party has apparently been drawing massive crowds ahead of elections next year. Officials say permission was granted for 10,000 people, but twice that number showed up. And of course, as you can imagine, that led to disaster. Meanwhile, another big story today in the Eastern Cape, the East London Magistrates Court set to deliver judgment in the case against the EFF leader, Julius Malema, and his former bodyguard, Adrian Snyman. It's a case that goes all the way back to 2018, when Malema allegedly fired a rifle during the EFF's 5th anniversary in Mdantsane. Malema faces a charge of discharging a firearm in public, while Snyman faces charges of unlawful possession of a firearm. And on this day in 1954, Judy Garland made a triumphant return to the big screen with A Star Is Born. And it's one of those movies for a star of that generation. Streisand did it, Lady Gaga did it, and it was a fantastic movie. The premiere was historic, televised for the first time, and he starred alongside James Mason. And it featured the elaborate 26-minute Born in a Truck sequence, showcasing Garland's talent, resilience, and cementing her legacy as one of Hollywood's greats.
702.
The newspapers.
The newspapers, 28 after 6. Sfiso Zulu, a very good morning to you.
Bingwa.
Let's look at what's making headlines globally.
Yeah, I'll start with The Guardian this morning. It's politics out of the UK. The Prime Minister there, Keir Starmer, has attacked the leader of the Reform UK, which is another political organization of racist plans to revoke the rights of thousands of people who live or to live in Britain at least. And Keir Starmer says Nigel Farage, who is the leader of Reform UK, will tear families apart of those who are trying to live in the UK and those who've lived in the UK for many years. And obviously the immigration issue in the UK has been a thorny one. And yeah, the Prime Minister there saying that, look, the Reform UK's plans to revoke the rights of thousands of people to live in Britain should be one of those things that people consider when they go and vote.
So I've been looking at that story over the weekend, and indeed, I think there's panic in the Labour Party. Nigel Farage gaining some momentum, it would appear, and there's no indication that if an election were held today, he wouldn't really do well and get the keys to number 10. So you can imagine what that reaction is about. I'm looking at local papers, the front page of The Citizen this morning. Companies that steal your pension. The police are probing over 1,000 employers for not paying over their employees' pension fund contributions. The Business Day, crime intelligence boss to fill in gaps. Khumalo expected to provide evidence of justice system's infiltration by criminals. And the front page of the Sowetan is that fantastic Sasha Feinberg Ngomezulu, the record breaker, history maker, says the Sowetan in a more grim story on their front page, how cop executed friend. Eyewitnesses relive how a Soweto police officer allegedly pumped 3 bullets into a man he'd met earlier that day.
EWN Business.
Right, Ray, you want to know what's that one thing we want to buy, but that's just a little out of reach. Is it a car? Is it a laptop? A PS5? What's on your list of desirables? Are you the genie that's just come out of the bottle, Ray?
I really wish I was. So sorry, Amo. No Louis Vuitton for you today, I'm afraid. Online marketplace OLX, you've seen them before, will buy French Motors classified platform La Centrale for 1.1 billion euros. OLX owner Process has been eyeing this for some time and says it aims to establish itself as Europe's leading e-commerce provider. Now, Process, which is majority owned by South Africa's Naspers, received EU approval in August for its $4.8 billion bid for Just Eat Takeaway, which analysts expect will establish the world's fourth largest food delivery company. Now, Process says that buying La Centrale, it will help it enter the European autos market and strengthen its e-commerce. OLX, among the world's largest classifieds companies, reported an 18% increase in full-year revenue to $777 million in June. Therefore, it can afford it. It aims for revenue growth of at least 20% and core earnings margins of at least 50%, so it wants to buy other stuff now as well.
And where the markets, where's the rand?
Right, most share markets have risen in Asia at the moment, the dollar easing. The rand, though, is 17.31 to the dollar, the pound at 23.25, euro 20.29, platinum shooting up $1,612.81, gold $3,794.20, and then Brent crude oil is $68.89. More business news for you in an hour.
Rains welcome yesterday, but Sfisa Zulu, we've all got to be careful, hey?
That's right, Bongani. The Weather Service is warning that rain in Gauteng is expected to continue today and tomorrow. Since yesterday, most parts of the province have been experiencing heavy showers. Motorists have also been urged to be vigilant on the roads this morning as traffic is expected to peak. Forecaster Ekurhuleni Tobela.
Especially for today into tomorrow, expecting scattered showers and thunder showers over Gauteng and parts of the eastern parts, which should cover Mpumalanga as well as KwaZulu-Natal. And we have these severe thunderstorms may result in heavy downpours that lead to localized flooding, a possibility of damaging winds, as well as a possibility of hail.
Chairperson for Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Police, Ian Cameron, says the devolution of police powers could be a game changer in addressing gang violence in the Western Cape. Cameron's comments come amid repeated calls by the DA to decentralize certain policing powers from national to local authorities. The party believes forensic backlogs have rendered investigations into gang-related crimes nearly useless, with the delays in critical evidence processing resulting in lower prosecutions. He says the lack of public trust, instability and inefficiencies in the police service have added to the urgency of resolving the calls for the devolution of powers.
And I think the mind shift from SAP should be that this isn't competition, it's the ultimate force multiplier.
Meanwhile, Cape Town's MMC for Safety and Security, JP Smith, says getting the right people for the job will also go a long way in stronger crime fighting efforts.
So that's another thing important, command and control, upskill our command and control all the time, make sure we've got capable people in senior jobs, otherwise everything else beneath them becomes problematic.
Former President Thabo Mbeki has challenged KwaZulu-Natal leaders to act urgently to address a World Bank report that labelled the port of Durban as the worst performing hub in the world. The port slipped several places from the 399th spot in 2023 and the worst of 405 ports last year. The World Bank Container Port Index for the 2024 was released last week, where Cape Town was ranked 400th. Mbeki addressed ANC members at the party's political school in Durban at the weekend.
That draws attention to the critical importance of the quality of the leadership in this room. The leadership in this room needs to change that report so that the World Bank must say Durban is one of the best performing seaports in the world. But that depends on the quality of our leadership.
And at least 19 people have been injured during protests against government and Congress in Peru. Groups of young people pelted rocks, sticks and firebombs at officers who responded with tear gas and rubber bullets during the protests over the weekend. The National Police say officers suffered first-degree burns from a Molotov cocktail during the march. Social unrest has increased in the South American country after government passed a law earlier this year requiring young people to contribute to private pension funds despite job insecurity. A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with widespread showers. The temperatures are at lows of 10 and 13 degrees, peaking at highs between 20 and 22.
And in the traffic, wet weather conditions across Joburg this morning. If you're traveling along the roads, please be on the lookout. Drive with care and keep a safe following distance. In Pinoni, we've got an accident on the N12 West near Snake Road. It's causing delays coming out of Patfontein Road. There's also queuing traffic, in fact, bumper-to-bumper delays on the N3 North between the Elands interchange and the Kilulis interchange.
The top story this hour, the Weather Service has warned that rain in Gauteng is expected to continue today and tomorrow.
Ready, jet, go! 2 fully paid trips to the Abu Dhabi Motor Racing Spectacular must be won in the thrilling new JetX competition exclusive to Hollywood Bets. An unforgettable experience awaits on one of the fastest circuits on the planet, with the world's top drivers battling for supremacy. To stand a chance to win, bet 10 Rand or more on JetX. 1 million Rand in cash is also up for grabs. Hollywood Bets. Fly higher with our multiplier. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
To celebrate 25 years of helping you live the Premier life, FNB Premier is giving you a chance to win a 14-day European tour experience and other cool monthly prizes. Open any FNB Premier account from September to 31 December 2025. Switch your salary, swipe or tap a minimum of 2,000 Rand per month for 3 months straight. Spend and win with FNB Premier. FNB, help changes everything. TCs and competition rules apply. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
So coming up in the next hour, what's the question? It's brought to you by Outsurance. 3,000 Rand is up for cash. First, we'll give you 1,000 Rand for giving us an answer on anything you heard in the show that piqued your interest. You simply WhatsApp us your name and that answer to 072 702 1702. Now, then later, someone else wins 2,000 Rand if they ask a question that gets to your answer. Funsies, hey? Remember, you always stand a better chance of being selected to give us today's answer if you have SMS'd out to Outsurance and got yourself a quote. So SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, 702 family. Mr. Bingwa. I'm confused about those who are worried about Helen Zille's age, especially the ANC comrades. They are almost 100, but they are busy complaining about Helen Zille. Just look at Gotemantasha and Jimotseha. They are tired, those people. They are tired. But they are busy complaining about Helen Zille.
Good morning, Bongani and team and 702 lenders. I would stand my ground, Bongani, because some of these directives are caused because of most of the government departments are infiltrated by political appointees or appointments. So sometimes it's a test where you get tested to see if whether you abide by the policies of the company or you are just simply chasing after money. This is John from Pretoria, and I guess this is what got the National Commissioner, Mr. Fani Masemula, into trouble.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's firstly you talk about infiltration when it's not the exception, it's the norm. The ANC has been very clear in terms of deploying cadres to basically control all levers of this society. And so, I mean, that's exactly what we are seeing here. And people, even in the ANC, are told they must be loyal to the party. That's their first place of responsibility, the party that deployed them. So this idea then that that kind of thing is the exception rather than the norm, perhaps is not borne by the facts. We're talking about being pressured to do something that you may think is unethical, perhaps even illegal. It goes against your values for sure. But your job is on the line. Your income is on the line. You are the major, perhaps the only breadwinner in your family. If you don't have a job, everything goes south. Do you stand your ground or do you go along to get along? That really is the question we are asking you this morning.
EWN Sport.
Right, let's catch up with the world of sport. Cindy Paluta out for the week. A very welcome return to Anthony Teixeira. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Bongani.
I mean, I know you're going to want to start with the golf because that was the latest thing.
And you're probably going to want to start with Arsenal. You're going to be disappointed because I am going to definitely start with the golf because it was dramatic in New York. It was exceptional.
Okay. Sell it to me.
And this is from somebody who doesn't like golf, by the way.
Okay.
But yeah, the Europeans, they retained that Ryder Cup with the historic 5th win in the USA. Heading into the final day, they needed 2.5 points for victory, which then became just 2 points at the start of the day after Norway's Victor Hovland withdrew from the singles with Harris English due to a neck injury, and the points were shared. Losing captain Keegan Bradley then complained after the loss that the injury rule existed and the substitution could not be made.
The rule has to change. I mean, I think it's obvious to everybody in the sports world, in this room, nothing against Victor, but that rule needs to change by the next Ryder Cup.
Winning captain Luke Donald was very swift with his rebuttal.
I think it's been in place since 1971. The US have used it before. Happened in 1991 with Steve Pate. It happened in 1993. Sam Torrance couldn't play with an injured toe. The US won that one. We have contracts for a reason, a captain's agreement for a reason.
How very American of them. So despite all their hundreds of thousands of dollars, they lost.
They did. Also, there was so much fan abuse on the field throughout the weekend. Rory McIlroy getting sort of the brunt of it all. At the first tee off on the second day, the MC was actually leading a chant against him, swearing at Rory McIlroy. Yeah. She then stepped down by the end of the close of play. It was an incredible thing.
What prompted all of that?
Because honestly, the Americans were pretty terrible. There's no other way to describe it. They were being humiliated at home in New York.
And the only way to respond is just go after
the
opposition. That's extraordinary.
But now we'll move to the story that you want to talk about.
But of course, don't let me get in the way.
Sunday results in the Premier League saw Arsenal come from a goal down to beat Newcastle 2-1. They moved second on the log, just 2 points behind Liverpool.
I mean, that game, firstly, we were robbed of our penalty.
Okay. I'm not going to fight you on that. I'm not going to agree either. Listen, it's Arsenal.
And Gabriel at the end.
It was an exceptional header. I'm not going to lie.
Thank you.
You guys are amazing at set pieces.
Thank you.
Since 2023, I think this is your 37th goal from a set piece.
It used to be like Barcelona. We were known for carpet football. Look at us now.
Yeah. Very boring and dull. Meanwhile, Aston Villa have a first league win with a 3-1 beating of Fulham. Back home in the Betway Premiership, Stellenbosch have not recorded a win in over a month. This is after it ended goalless with Chippa United. Meanwhile, Siwelele beat Marimogalants 1-0. In cricket, the Proteas women won their last World Cup warm-up by 4 wickets against Pakistan. Half centuries from Sunay Luce and Annika Bosch. Elsewhere, the English women beat the Australians by 4 wickets in their warm-up. Meanwhile, the Indian men have won the Asia Cup for a record-extending 9th time as they beat their rivals Pakistan by 5 wickets. In netball, the Proteas lost by 57-56 against New Zealand in the final test as the Black Ferns snatched the victory at the death, while the Baby Proteas registered their first ever finish of a top 4 in the World Cup youth program. They lost the bronze medal match 55-35. Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Hi, Uncle Bongani. My name is Jude. I'm 12 years old and I go to Leeuwenridge Primary School. I want to be in the Whiz Quiz because I love doing quizzes and I want to be a lawyer when I grow up.
Ooh, we want to play with you. Got some questions for you. Counselor, will you answer them?
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN Traffic.
6:45 on the nose. This EWN Traffic is brought to you by Bridgestone Tires, prepared to perform whatever the terrain. That N12 West crash. Amo, is it a bad one?
It is a bad one, Bongani, given the wet weather conditions. It's right near Snake Road. Delays coming out of Patfontein Road. Please be on the lookout there. About a 20-minute hold-up. There's also another accident reported on the N1 South. This one is right near the Baklu interchange. It is slowing down traffic as you come out of New Road. And also do remember the peak time delays along this route at this point, coming out of the Brakfontein interchange. And then on the N14 East, we've got delays between the R55 and the Brakfontein turnoff. This is due to peak time delays. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. Weekdays on the highway, weekends on the trail, in rain, on tar, or halfway up a gravel pass. With the new Bridgestone Jeweler All-Terrain AT002, you don't have to choose. Bridgestone, prepared to perform whatever the terrain. 702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Sorry, Bongani, there was something wrong with the line. It's Teresa speaking. I'm just wishing for an air fryer. And every month I want to buy one. Something happened. Something must break at home. Probably this month. Something broke again. Maybe next month they'll buy me one. I'll see. Thank you. Teresa Red Park.
Morning, Bongs and T. Mina, for me, guys, I'm growing up, and this dream is just gonna, cause I've always wanted to have a Mini Cooper. Oh man, and I'm growing old. Yeah, I'm driving a 7-seater. Yeah, you want a minimum, you're driving a large. That's in the mid-range.
The question that was asked a little earlier on by Ray White in Business News: what is that one item on your bucket list? You're close, but you're not quite there. It feels like it's within your reach, and every time you're about to touch it, something happens and you can't. We've had people who want a PS5, an air fryer now, a Mini Cooper. He wants a Mini Cooper. What's that one item on your bucket list? You want it, but life is saying no. Computer says no.
The brainy kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702.
10 questions, 60 seconds. I need 10 answers to give away 10,000 Rand. Otherwise, it's $100 for each correct answer. Today's contestant is Jude, who is 12 years old and goes to Linwood Ridge Primary School. And Jude wants to be a lawyer. Do you know why you want to be a lawyer, Jude? Jude, are you there? Hey, Jude. Tell you what, what do we do? Balisa, do we check if Jude is there? Do I pause it? Try and give a shot to the producers to speak to Jude to find out if Jude is there. Jude, are you there? Are you there, Jude? 1, 2, 3. 10,000 Rand. It's smiling. It wants to get out. Jude, are you there?
Yes.
There we go. There we go. Do you know why you want to be a lawyer?
Because I see the way people are getting thrown in prison, and I want to change that.
You want to help
give
those?
them opportunity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Give a voice to those who don't have a voice. All right, let's hear your voice then, Jude. Here we go. Balisa, start the clock. Spell the word privacy.
Pricacy.
Incorrect. In maths, what is 3 to the power of 2?
6.
It's 9. True or false? The capital of Japan is Tokyo.
True.
Correct. What is another word for fast? Give me a synonym for fast.
Fast. Quick.
Correct. Who was the first man to step on the moon?
Neil Armstrong.
Correct. What is the value of South Africa's largest banknote?
200.
Correct. What is the name of Mickey Mouse's pet dog?
Pass.
Pluto. Which metal is heavier, silver or gold?
Metal.
Which metal is heavier, silver or gold?
Gold.
Correct. Does the word tribute mean accolade or accent?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, it's fine. Accolade would have been the correct answer. The question was, does the word tribute mean accolade or accent? Let's tally those up. And Jude, you walk away with 600 Rand. 600 Rand, say the producers. There we go. Congratulations. That's not a bad score. 600 Rand. We haven't given away 10,000 Rand in some time. And we're itching to. It's that time of the year where we feel generous. Are you aged 10 to 13? Send us a WhatsApp voice note now on 072 702 1702. Tell us why you want to play the Whiz Quiz, and we could be calling you.
PG Glass Repair, PG Glass Replace.
Hi, I'm Telane, PG Glass Technician. Got a chip on your windscreen? No worries. Our advanced repair technology fixes it with precision. If you don't have insurance, we offer affordable cash deals on high-quality windscreen replacements to keep you safe.
We can also help you claim from your insurance. Plus, you get a lifetime workmanship guarantee. As the natural choice to fix your glass problems, we're the best at what we do. For quality you can trust, call 0860 030303 today.
When it comes to saving you money, OUTsurance puts their money where their mouth is. That's right. If OUTsurance can't beat your insurance premium, ask them for 500 Rand cash. Make it 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free with the same insurer for 3 years. Savings or cash, you always get something out. Get a quick and easy quote today. Call 08600 60,000 or visit outsurance.co.za. A licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
Right, 8 minutes to 7 o'clock. On to this now. Have you been trying to renovate your house? Maybe you want to sell it, or for whatever reason, you need the original plans to your home. Yesterday, I came across an article in the Sunday Times where it is alleged not only will you find it difficult to get those documents because the city's historical archive, which holds over 1 million of them in the now closed Metro Centre, has largely been accessible since its closure a couple of years ago. And what the Sunday Times is now alleging is some officials, if you ask them really, really nicely, will bend over backwards to find these documents for you, but at the low, low price of what, 2,000 odd Rand. And it raises all sorts of questions. And we thought, let's find out why it's important that this repository of information and these documents are kept safe and never lost. What is the significance? We've invited the chairperson of the Johannesburg Heritage Foundation, David Fleminger, to join us. David, a very good morning to you and welcome to 702 Breakfast.
Thank you, Bongani. Good to be here.
Right. Firstly, how difficult is it for the ordinary person to access their plans, their building plans, since the closure of the Metro Centre?
The short answer is very difficult indeed. The archive contains, as you said, 1 million plans dating back right to the beginning of Johannesburg. And since the Metro Centre was closed, we believe prematurely, because of a transformer fire in one part of the building, that plans archive has essentially been unavailable. There were anecdotal reports. You could go there and you could find somebody who would go down the stairs in the dark and find the plans and make you a copy and give you back a copy. But it was very ad hoc and there was no real person to contact. And so since the Metro Centre has been closed, that plans archive, by and large, unless you were very determined, has been inaccessible for developers, for architects, for homeowners, and anybody else who needs to get hold of those plans, which is a legal requirement.
So, I mean, how do we comply with the law if the officials who are meant to assist us to do so cannot?
Well, that's exactly the point. And this isn't a new issue, Bongani. This has been raised since the Metro Centre was closed in 2024. 2023, I beg your pardon. And we have raised this with several officials in the city, including the mayor, and we had no luck with or no response from any of them. Our immediate demand, or let's say suggestion, was to move the plans archive to a place that is accessible, such as Museum Africa, and reopen the archive as quickly as possible. Not only are the plans inaccessible, we know that an empty building is a building at risk. So having nobody in that building and nobody looking after that archive on a day-to-day basis puts it at risk of vandalism, neglect, fire, theft, all kinds of things like that. So this has been an issue that has been raised repeatedly for at least a year and probably going on 2.
David, what happens if that archive is lost?
Simply put, it's gone forever. If those plans leave the archive, there is no way to get those plans back. There are no copies anywhere else. There's no digital backup of these copies. So this is literally the only repository for this historical archive, as well as being an archive that is constantly being used by developers, because the legislation states to get approval, you have to submit the original plans as well. So what's been happening is that people have actually given up trying to get the plans and are now paying out of their own pocket to have architects redraw plans to measure so that they can submit reproductions, so to speak, of the original plans. There's also the question of how do you submit new plans? Because the archive's closed.
Because my sense is people are going to start making all kinds of additions to their buildings without the approval of the metro.
Well, absolutely. If you kind of take away if you don't give people the option to comply with the law, what is going to happen is people are going to find ways around the law. And that's the situation we find ourselves in right now.
What did you make of the allegations in the Sunday Times paper yesterday, suggesting not only are these documents unavailable in the way we've just discussed, but there are some officials who, out of the goodness of their hearts, may go and find them for you at the low, low price?
So we don't have any specific concrete hard proof on our side, but we have had a lot of anecdotal evidence from people and architects who are part of our organization expressing their frustration and they're at the end of their tether. So this doesn't surprise me at all.
I mean, it's a
Some
recipe.
people have found
Sorry to come in there, David. I was going to say the situation is a recipe for exactly this kind of thing, because if officials can reasonably say to you they're not able to access those documents, what can you do?
I must be honest, quite frankly, if I was in a position where I desperately needed those documents to comply with legislation, I'd pay the 2,000 Rand. I must be honest, the city hasn't given us, the citizens, much choice in this matter, and it doesn't surprise me that people have spotted the opportunity and taken a chance. The allegations do not surprise us at all, and we continue to strongly appeal to the city to take the plans archive out of the metro centre and move it to a place of safety, firstly, and secondly, to make that accessible once again, make that archive once again accessible to the public, as is the requirement by law.
Is there a plan? I mean, we'll have them on later, by the way, on the show, but what was the plan? Was there, because this, as you say, happened in 2023, it surely can't just be indefinite and all of this is in limbo. Was there some kind of plan to either fix the metro centre or to move them elsewhere, as you've suggested?
All we know is since the transformer fire, which we believe was a relatively minor fire, we believe that it was the threat to the centre as being unsafe for occupation was exaggerated. But since the centre was closed, the only plan we've managed to get out of the city is that they are planning a massive 2 billion Rand renovation. There's no timeline for that plan. There's no indication of when work will begin. There's no indication of when the Metro Centre or the archive will reopen. We know that the people who were working in Metro Centre have been reassigned to various buildings around Johannesburg, racking up huge rentals for the city, even when the Metro Centre, which is purpose-built for this exact function, has been closed. So we are awaiting further details about this 2 billion Rand renovation, which we don't know the details of what they're going to be renovating and when it'll begin. But we can't wait any longer. It's already been 2 years. We know that vandals and various people have gained access to the building. We have seen stories of not just the Plans Archive, but other government archives, city archives, being thrown around and trashed and potentially destroyed. So it's actually quite a serious issue, and the city has not really been forthcoming with any concrete plan or timeline.
That sounds criminal. We'll speak to the city later in the show. Appreciate your time. David Fleminger is the chairperson of the Johannesburg Heritage Foundation. It really sounds absolutely criminal.
702. Coming up, the big interview.
Talking of criminal, we all think we would do the right thing if we were faced with the choice. But if you are pressured, and it could be a superior, a colleague, even your spouse, and everything was on the line if you don't do this wrong thing, what might you do? We're going to talk about the pressure faced by many directors general. Comes out of an opinion piece in the Sunday Times yesterday, and I think it's one that's worth having in the context of the Madlanga Commission and all the things we are hearing about political interference.
This is EWN.
The DA is being blamed for the Ekurhuleni blue light saga, and a community patroller says he is still struggling months after being attacked in So Shangu. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Ekurhuleni Mayor Dr. Xhakaza has called on the DA to account for how alleged crime kingpin Vusumuzi Matlala infiltrated the metro under its administration. It emerged more than a year ago that Matlala's vehicles were fitted with blue lights that were unlawfully supplied by EMPD Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi. The Metro senior cop was recently implicated at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, where he was accused of granting undue favors to Matlala. Xhakaza has told EWN that he believes the infiltration of the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department happened under the leadership of former Mayor and DA Councillor Tanya Campbell. Alfara Mushwana has the story.
Ekurhuleni Mayor Dr. Xhakaza says neither he nor the ANC can be blamed for allegations that the EMPD was infiltrated by Vusumuzi Matlala.
It was the DA that was in charge, at the helm of leadership in Ekurhuleni when some of these things happened. And it then escalated when the mayor got Dwana and there was no action.
He says the DA must account for why its oversight mechanisms failed to detect and address Matlala's links to senior EMPD officials.
We've asked it in council. Tanya, we said, you must also tell us, because there's a separation. Politics, they do oversight. These ones must actually do the administrative processes.
The DA has refuted the mayor's allegations, saying it informed the SIU about Matlala's alleged influence in the EMPD. Alfa Ramshwana, Eyewitness News.
The Madlanga Commission of Inquiry says it won't allow for its work to be derailed by claims of internal cracks following reports that Chief Evidence Leader Terry Mutau wants out. This follows reports by the City Press that Mutau has requested to leave the commission chaired by retired Constitutional Court Justice Mbuyiseli Madlanga. The commission says it will continue with the business of the day when hearings resume today, with corruption-accused crime intelligence boss Dumisani Khumalo set to testify. Khumalo, a key witness, has featured prominently in testimony given before the Commission's public hearings so far. Oren Singh reports.
The Madlanga Commission says it will not publicly discuss internal staffing matters. Spokesperson Jeremy Michael says the Commission is squarely focused on its job to conduct an inquiry into the gravely serious allegations that law enforcement agencies have been infiltrated by criminal syndicates and drug cartels. The testimony by crime intelligence boss Dumisani Khumalo comes amid a cloud of uncertainty over his job, following his recent arrest by the Investigating Directorate Against Corruption on fraud and corruption charges. This is linked to the appointment of Teneo Mokwele to a senior post within the unit, despite her not having any previous policing experience. Police sources claim Khumalo's arrest deeply angered his ally, KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, who accused IDAC of playing politics. Arun Singh, Eyewitness News.
A survivor of the brutal attack on community patrollers at the Merimi informal settlements in So Shangu says his life has gone from bad to worse. The 23-year-old man spent 4 months recovering in hospital after sustaining injuries from the attack in March this year. 13 patrollers were stoned and set alight by a group of unknown men in the north of Pretoria. 6 of them died in the ambush, including his brother. Jabuli Lembata has more.
The survivor says on the day of the attack, he was at the wrong place at the wrong time.
He says he had been visiting his brother, who was a patroller, and asked to join him for the night patrol to see how he does his job. He was attacked with a sharp object in the head and lost consciousness.
They also cut 2 fingers on my right hand. These other fingers on the left, they are not sure if the fingers can survive. My face was also bad. I have wires on the jaws and I lost some teeth. They tried to put my jaw together. They basically had to reconstruct my entire face.
After months in hospital, the 23-year-old has since dropped out from the Tshwane University of Technology where he was a student.
I'm still trying to find a way to walk normal again, and I still need to gain confidence to wear things like shorts. Losing my fingers on my right hand is a big challenge because that's the hand that I use.
With only one attacker arrested earlier in the year, the 23-year-old says he still lives in fear. Jabuli Lembata, Eyewitness News.
And New York Mayor Eric Adams has abandoned his re-election bid after failing to gain momentum against Democratic nominee Zoran Mandani. A once popular mayor, Adams, dogged by corruption allegations and criticized over cooperating with Donald Trump's immigration crackdown. Criminal charges were dropped against Adams earlier this year, prompting resignations at the Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office and the Justice Department in protest against alleged political interference by the Trump administration. Adams dropping out leaves the field open for a battle between 33-year-old Mamdani and the fellow Democrat 67-year-old Andrew Cuomo, who is running as an independent after being beaten in the Democratic primary. Adams has explained in a video why he's decided to abandoned his run.
And yet, despite all we've achieved, I cannot continue my re-election campaign. The constant media speculation about my future and the campaign finance board's decision to withhold millions of dollars have undermined my ability to raise the funds needed for a serious campaign.
Gold is trading at $3,769.66 an ounce. The rand is at 17.34 to the dollar, 23.27 to the pound, 20.31 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $70.13 a barrel.
There's bumper-to-bumper traffic on the N14 North in Centurion. This is due to an accident. It happened right after the Brakfontein interchange, causing heavy delays. There's also queuing traffic along the N1 South between the Brakfontein turnoff and the Baklu due to multiple reasons. Please be on the lookout and drive with care.
And in your sports, a late comeback victory against Newcastle sees Arsenal move second in the Premier League. Mamelodi Sundowns top of the Betway Premiership. And the Europeans win the Ryder Cup for the first time in 13 years in the USA.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with widespread showers and thunder showers. Johannesburg is at a low of 10 degrees, peaking at 21. Pretoria, 15 and 22. Vereeniging, 12 and 20. The top story in EW and this hour. Ekurhuleni Mayor Dr. Xhakaza has called on the DA to account for how alleged crime kingpin Vusi Makhasi infiltrated the metro under its administration.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Infiltration, that's the word of the moment in South Africa, is it not? It used to be corruption, it used to be crime, but infiltration is the word in the zeitgeist, politically anyway. We'll keep an eye, of course, on what happens next in the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. We've heard reports that the chief evidence leader, Advocate Terry Mutau, who is a respected member of the bar, senior counsel, he was the one, of course, who was behind the report that told us what happened in the VBS matter. It's an extraordinary development that he would want to be out of the Madlanga Commission. That's a story we're keeping an eye on. And then at the weekend, but I'm going to ask you to fade the music. Every now and again, there's a story that comes along and you just think, no, man. Nya. There's a story of a Limpopo provincial legislature official, right? The secretary to the Limpopo legislature. His name is Timothy Maike. He holds a PhD in public administration from the University of Limpopo. Now, there was a trip for his department from the provincial legislature to go to the Gambia, of all places. He wasn't part of the original delegation, Amo, and they were going to fly Qatar Airways. And the first ticket, when he, at whatever point, was included, was booked. And do you know what the problem was, Amo? It didn't have the name Doctor. And he insisted, no, but I'm Dr. Mike, and my ticket can't just be Timothy Mike. It must say Dr. Timothy Mike. Qatar Airways wrote back to this provincial legislature to explain, listen, unless you are a medical doctor, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not a medical doctor. His PhD is in public administration.
Okay.
Because what Qatar Airways says is, if there's an emergency on the plane, we don't want a doctor who studies dung beetles, right?
Yeah.
To now try and give medical attention
Mm.
to a passenger on the plane. Not a good enough response, it's reported. 3 times tickets were bought. These were non-refundable tickets, and he refused to fly because his name was not on there as Dr. Mike. Do you know how much it cost the taxpayer? 1.8 million rand.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
In other news, the former president, Thabo Mbeki, was speaking at the ANC's political class, reflecting on the state of the movement and warning that the ANC now finds itself very definitely in crisis. Have a listen.
That as a movement, as an organization, we recognize the fact that there's a crisis. You can't drop from where we were to this 17% and think that there's no crisis. I'm very, very glad that the comrades recognize that, first of all, that there is a serious problem.
He's talking about what has unfolded in KZN and the loss of support in what was once the biggest province for the ANC. But in another swipe at the delegates and the general membership of the ANC, he had this to say.
I must also say, Comrade Chair, I'm very, very glad that for all of these hours that we've been here, we've only sang one song. I'm very, very glad. Truly, you know, I'm told that our Chinese comrades say that over the years they've spent quite a bit of time with our movement. And one of the things that puzzles them is, when does the ANC discuss policy? Because all the time it's singing and dancing. It's unfair. But I'm very, very glad there was only one song today. Because we then spend all of the other time discussing the real problems. And what is very clear to me...
We discussed only the problems and we sang only one song. That's something that you're hearing increasingly from ANC leaders. But perhaps the thing I want you to hear the most, I mean, you have heard me before saying she's really one of the best speakers on the global stage, the Barbados Prime Minister, Mia Motley. And she's called on the world, I beg your pardon, to take note of human rights violations unfolding in Sudan and in Gaza. And she says global justice is what the world requires at this moment. And it was a stirring speech at the UN General Assembly, and I just think it's worth hearing. Here is the Barbados Prime Minister, Mia Motley.
And as it relates to Gaza, yes, there must be a release of the hostages taken on October 7th. But we have now gone to a point where all of our human sensibilities are offended by the continuous and disproportionate attacks on the Palestinian people and the failure to allow access by the international community to the survivors for the provision of humanitarian aid. The survivors are entitled, my friends, to use the words of Bob Marley. How can you be sitting there telling me that you care, when every time I look around, the people suffer in the suffering in every way, in everywhere? My friends, it calls to mind the Roman historian Tacitus, who quoted a Scottish chieftain fighting against the military might of the Roman Empire. And I mention only the last two sentences. They plunder, they butcher, they ravish, they make it desert and call it peace. They make it desert and they call it peace.
They make it desert and they call it peace.
702. Up next.
The big interview.
EWN Traffic.
It's a 7:15. This Eyewitness News Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Amu, delays in the capital?
That's correct, Bongani. Due to an accident in Centurion on the N14 North. This has happened just after the Braakfontein interchange, causing those massive queues. Please be on the lookout there and drive with care. We also have got queuing traffic on the N1 between the Braakfontein interchange and the Flying Saucer. This is due to peak time delays. There's also queuing traffic along the Irene area on Nelmapius and the Main Road. Please be on the lookout there and drive with care. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Outsurers will do all they can to save you money on your car insurance premium. But what if they just can't? Well, they'll give you cash just for trying. That's right. Just ask for 500 Rand cash. But wait, there's more. If you don't save and have been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years, you can ask for 1,500 Rand cash. Savings or cash, you always get something out.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands.
What does you always get something out mean to you, Lorette?
Outsurance made it possible for us to live our dream to travel more with the money in our pocket that we save.
Let me know, what is it?
725. It was unbelievable. My husband, he sits there on the chair and he's just nodding his head and say, yes, yes, yes. This is really not just an advertisement. This is really real.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
702.
The big interview.
With Bongani Bingwa.
17 minutes after 7 o'clock, I asked a simple question earlier. Would you lay it all on the line for principle? Your marriage, your career, your retirement. If you were being instructed or requested to do something that you thought was unethical, perhaps even illegal, by a boss, by a superior, how would you respond? There are many of us who would, without thinking, without blinking, say, we would do the right thing. Of course we would. But if you're someone who's nearing retirement, for example, with someone, or you are someone without many prospects outside of your organization, how easy would it be to buckle under pressure? I want to remind you of this moment in the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, where the National Police Commissioner was questioned and pressed by the chair as to why he effected a decision he himself now says was unlawful.
If the minister were to give you an instruction that strays onto operational or managerial matters, would you, General Masemula, say to the minister, I am not going to obey that?
Yeah, it depends, Commissioner, but yes, I will. It's a matter that is career limited, but
it depends on what?
It depends on how he does it.
It's simple. It's yes. Simple. You have said operational and managerial matters are within your remit and not the minister's.
Yes.
So I am saying categorically to you that in what I posit to you, the instruction would be falling outside of the minister's remit and be straying onto operational and managerial matters. It's that clear.
Yeah, no.
Would you, General Masemula, tell the minister, I am not going to obey that?
Yeah, no, I will tell him that I won't do it. But as I said, it depends.
But as I said, it depends. This is the country's top cop being asked by a judge, would he do the right thing? Our conversation this morning is around exactly that, and it stems out of a really thoughtful piece in the Sunday Times yesterday by Sthembiso Msomi. I've invited a former Director General at the Public Service and Administration Department, and currently the head of the Public Service Reform Program at the New South Institute. This is, of course, Yoliswa Makhasi. A very good morning to you, and thank you for your time.
Good morning, Bongani.
I don't know if you watched that exchange that I just played there, that you just heard, between the country's top cop being pressed by a judge as to whether or not he, as the country's top cop, as I say, would do the right thing if instructed otherwise by a political principle.
Yes, I did watch it. Thank you very much.
What was your reaction?
Well, firstly, I did put myself in his shoes because I understand it could be tough there, but I was quite shocked that the commissioner chose to implement, even in a phased-in approach, what he thought was an unlawful instruction at the time, because there's quite a few things that he could have done to kind of push back and show the minister, and including in writing, that what you are instructing me is unlawful, and these are the implications in respect to that. So I was kind of shocked in respect to that, but I do respect him. It's a decision that he took at that particular time. Personally, I wouldn't do that. I would choose to do the right thing over that, because even if I don't do the right thing because of the pressure from the minister, one day not doing the right thing will follow me. When these things come out, I would still be required to account, and depending on what is it that I had decided to do, which is unlawful, it may even affect the same pension I am trying to protect and the same career I'm trying to protect by doing the wrong thing.
I'm going to press you and say, is it as easy as that? Because we have seen a number of examples where, say, in your former position as a Director General, your future is very much tied to the minister in office at the time. Whilst, of course, we know there's now legal precedent for ministers to no longer suspend Directors General, we also know that their contracts are renewed at the say-so of the minister. And so, whilst you might be able to take all of those steps, inevitably you would know that having not followed the instruction, your time in that position would be limited.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's not easy, and it would never be easy to lead a department. I think even for any CEO, it's not easy, even in the private sector, to lead as a CEO. But and some of the things that would happen is that, yes, the minister will be unhappy, and the minister in his or her unhappiness will unleash whatever that is at their disposal to deal with you, to process you, to make sure that your life is uncomfortable, even if you are still on your contract. Sometimes they will even go to the president and ask for you to be removed or ask for you to be suspended. But one of the things I like about the current president is that, at least in my own experience, having experienced something like this differently though, is that the minister must also indicate why, must also show paperwork and some form of to say this DG is misconducting herself and is putting the department in disrepute because of this particular reason. So it doesn't just become rumor and gossip. So it's not easy. And if you think that a head of department role is an easy role, don't even raise your hand for it, because it's not easy.
And that's what I want to talk about, because the seniority of a Director General, I mean, what we are describing, where you have to prove that, this official has done something wrong, if you are, for example, the minister, it sounds almost at a very junior level, but the seniority of a Director General would imply that it would be under the most extraordinary circumstances that any minister could recommend that the president removes them, and for very obvious and consequential mistakes or breaches of their contract. But it sounds to me that we're treating people who are meant to be really the CEOs of these departments as if they were junior staff.
You are correct on that one. I think that But I don't want to do a blanket approach to say all ministers,
Of course.
all political
No, of course, we
principals do the
appreciate
same.
that, yeah.
But there are those political principals who really treat professionals as if they are not professionals, as if they are not bringing a technical capability and a technical skill in the system. There's lots of experiences that people can share with you who have been DGs in respect to those issues. This includes the type of interference and type of instructions that from time to time the political principals would give. So if you are unable to push back, as I said earlier on, ultimately it is you who will take responsibility because you are the accounting officer. You are expected to know certain things, and the how of running the department remains your responsibility, whilst the what of what needs to be done remains the responsibility of the political principal.
All right, can I ask you, if you wouldn't mind, if you would be so bold, to share some of your experience when you were under pressure in this way?
Well, I mean, I can share an experience, of course, without mentioning any people. I've had a few experiences, and one of those experiences related to an official who had misconducted him or herself in one of the departments I've worked at. And I suspended the official, gave the official charges and everything. In the midst of that, there was change of leadership in the department where I was working, and the minister that came in basically gave me an instruction to bring back the official. And I had to advise the minister that I am not in a position to do that. Official in writing, because the minister had written me a letter. I had advised that this is an unlawful instruction. The process of disciplining an official is not my process, nor the process of the minister. It's with the head of the, it's now with the chairperson of the disciplinary. It's a compliance matter. And we have to respect that process. The minister cannot intervene. I cannot intervene in the process. So that was one experience that I had. And indeed, the minister wrote back to me and instructed and even indicated that I'm going to report you to my boss, which is the minister's political principal. And I wrote
the president.
Said, yes.
So when you hold on, just to be clear, you pushed back, and this minister said, "If you don't do this, I'll tell the president."
Yes, I had a letter. It was in writing that said, "I will escalate the matter to the president. I will report to the president that you are defying me." And I did again advise to the minister, should you decide to do so, the same advice I'm sharing with you, I will still share that particular advice with the president, because this is in my view an unlawful instruction. And on top of that, what I did was to ask our legal unit, guided by the Public Service Commission guidelines, to ask our legal unit to look for advice from the state law advisors, so that I am able to come back to the minister and say it's not just my own interpretation or an internal interpretation. This is what the advice is on this particular matter.
And what were the consequences?
Well, the minister didn't push forward, I must say that, but life became difficult for me in the department.
How so?
But I say, no, there were lots of things that happened around some misinformation campaign that happened in the department, and partly led by the union and other officials, some of them senior managers, who I think were just in collusion to get rid of me. But I stayed until the end of my contract, and I left when my contract ended.
Because it certainly wasn't renewed, was it?
No, well, it wasn't renewed, but interestingly, it was not even the same minister. It was another minister at this time, because of the high attrition and the political instability that comes with high attrition of political principals. I served under 5 ministers in 5 years in one department.
Goodness me. Appreciate your time and your perspective, and you sharing your personal story. Yoliswa Makhasi is a former Director General at the Public Service and Administration Department, currently heads the Public Service Reform Program at the New South Institute. And at the heart of this surely has to be the idea of cadre deployment, because of course many of these political principles would remind officials, you are there because we deployed you, and therefore you will do our bidding. Your first loyalty has to be to the party. That's their thinking, and not the Constitution of the Republic. Many of us say, without blinking, Of course we would do the right thing, but would we really?
EWN Business.
Catch up with business news now. Ray White in for Muntero Khwaripe. Good news for those investing in property, Ray, even if we don't have our plans.
Yeah, there's that too. The F&B House Price Index shows property prices have continued to rise. We have seen interest rates falling slightly, albeit not at the last meeting of the Reserve Bank's MPC. The index shows that house prices rose for a fourth straight month for August, gaining 4.5%. The July figure was revised up to 4.4% from 3.7%, indicating sustained upward momentum in residential property values. Now, the Western Cape, of course, continues to register the strongest house price inflation. However, Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal are also showing signs of recovery after a period of stagnation earlier this year.
Gemfields posting a massive loss in the second quarter.
That's right. Gemfields, the precious gemstone miner, has posted its first interim loss since the onset of COVID-19. Business Day reporting that this is after operational challenges halved its revenue in the first 6 months. Mozambique's civil unrest and heightened competition in Zambia have weighed heavily on the group's performance. Gemfields reported a $24.58 million loss for the 6 months to end June, compared to $13.66 million in profit the previous first half.
How the markets and the rand?
The markets are up in Asia at the moment. Most share markets have risen as investors brace for a possible shutdown of the US government. We should know this on Wednesday, what's going to be happening there. But the rand now to the dollar 17.29, the pound at 23.23, the euro 20.28, platinum $1,621.20, and then gold is $3,895.10. Brent crude oil, $68.87 a barrel. I'll have more business news for you in about an hour from now.
Straight to the news desk we go. Sfiso Zulu, the downpours mean all of us have to be careful.
That's right, Bongani, including motorists who are being urged to drive carefully on the roads this morning due to heavy rain in most parts of Gauteng. The Weather Service has warned that the downpours are expected to continue today and tomorrow. Joburg Emergency Services says while no major incidents have been reported so far, its teams are on high alert. Spokesperson Robert Mulauzi.
Motorists are still urged to continue to exercise caution while driving, extend the safe following distance and try and avoid roads and bridges which might be flooded. Our residents in our low-lying areas to avoid crossing river streams.
Joburg Mayor Dada Morero has again shrugged off claims of financial misconduct and poor governance amid heightened calls for accountability in the city's water crisis. Morero's administration is under more scrutiny following the latest reports that 4 billion rand had been removed from the Joburg Water's account. He says no funds have been lost, adding that the city operates under a transparent and compliant financial system. Nookayam Dambo reports.
Joburg Mayor Dada Morero says the money is not missing, but says the relocation of the funds is as a result of a global treasury practice known as sweeping that automatically transfers balances from municipal entities' accounts into the city's primary account. He says the purpose of the sweeping is not to remove or hide money, but to efficiently manage the city's liquidity, optimizing cash flow and reducing transaction fees. Morero believes the claims that money is lost undermines public confidence and diverts attention from the real work of delivering basic services to communities. The city is currently under pressure to resolve a failure to provide water to some communities, including areas in the west of Joburg, where violent protests broke out last month over dry taps. Nogukanyam Dambo, Eyewitness News.
Former President Thabo Mbeki has challenged KwaZulu-Natal leaders to act urgently to address a World Bank report that labelled the port of Durban as the worst performing hub in the world. The port slipped several places from the 399th spot in 2023 to the worst of 405 ports last year. The World Bank Container Port Index for the 2024 year was released last week, where Cape Town was ranked 400th. Mbeki addressed ANC ANC members at the party's political school in Durban at the weekend.
That draws attention to the critical importance of the quality of the leadership in this room. The leadership in this room needs to change that report so that the World Bank must say Durban is one of the best performing seaports in the world. But that depends on the quality of our leadership.
And politicians in Australia are demanding a full investigation into the management of the country's telecommunications giant, Optus. Optus suffered a network outage yesterday going into today that prevented calls to emergency services. This latest outage comes just over a week after a similar interruption that led to the deaths of 4 people in 4 states. Some government officials say they are calling for an independent investigation because the hardware fault is putting many lives at risk. A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with widespread showers. The temperatures are at lows of 10 and 13 degrees, peaking at highs between 20 and 22.
And in the traffic, wet weather conditions across Gauteng this morning. If you're traveling on the roads, please be on the lookout and keep a safe following distance and drive with care. We've got an accident reported on the N3 North near Marlborough Drive. It's causing heavy delays. There's also queuing traffic. In fact, bumper-to-bumper traffic along the N12 West. This is between Barber Road and the R24 merge. Please be on the lookout there and drive with care.
The top story this hour, motorists are being urged to drive carefully on the roads this morning due to heavy downpours.
We're going to make insurance great again. We're going to build a wall around high premiums. A big wall. The best wall. And guess what? You're not paying for it. We're going to grab poor service by the policy. It's going to be tremendous. Believe me.
This message has absolutely nothing to do with the US government. It's paid for by the King of Insurance, who's making insurance great again. Get a quote now. It'll be the best decision, people are saying, ever. King Price is a licensed FSP. No fake news, just like her insurance.
Did you know that all residential complexes are legally required to register with the Community Scheme Ombud Service, or CSOS? Registration is easy and it's free. All registered schemes can access a quick and affordable alternative dispute resolution body and can also learn more about the rights and responsibilities of people living within a community scheme. We'd like to appeal to all unregistered community schemes to register with the CSOS today. Visit csos.org.za to find out more.
Spar brings you super savings. Get 1 kg stock country spread 40% medium fat spread tub for $45.99. Save 12 Rand with Spar rewards, or 2-liter Coca-Cola regular only. Buy 2 for 42 Rand. Save 14 Rand with Spar rewards. Plus, you could win your share of 6 million Rand in instant cash. Competition ends 7 October. Price is valid 23 September to 7 October 2025. While stocks last. T's and C's apply.
Looking for real ways to live greener? Then don't miss Green Tip of the Week, your weekly dose of sustainable inspiration. From eco-entrepreneurs to climate champions, we sit down with the people making real change. So catch Green Tip of the Week every Tuesday on Afternoon Drive with John Perlman between 3 and 6 p.m. only on 702. It's probably brought to you by Volvo. It's safe to be brave with Volvo.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Morning, Bongani. Let me remain anonymous. Some of us are going through precisely what General Masemola has gone through at work, but we are fighting our own battles. As I'm talking to you this morning, I'm expected to give a report on work that my supervisor was supposed to be doing. My supervisor has been removed. I've never been consulted regarding the taking of her duties, but I've been doing that for over 6 years now. But this morning, precisely this morning, I'm going to raise hell. There's gonna be war in that office. Thanks, Anonymous.
Regarding going against your boss, I would say that I was fired. Actually, I was fired for not going along with the boss projected timelines. We're in the project management space, but he had his own personal development that he said, look, handle this one. And he wanted it to be delivered within a certain time before certain permits could be issued, and he said I must make sure that it happens because he was looking at the handover. I tried, but I couldn't bend the rules, so I lost my job. Yeah, it's Fred here. So that's one of the things that happened.
702, morning, Bongs. Bongs, regarding the advocate, Terry, if he wants to leave, let him leave. The guy likes attention. He thrives on social attention, and we get a superstar. You know what I'm saying? So if he wants to go, he must go. I mean, they're not going to sit here and beg him to stay. There's other people that are also as highly capable of doing the job. But with him, there must always just be drama. And media must stop playing and dancing to his dramatic music. The man likes drama. What he's doing, and he's a big attention seeker as well. So if he wants to leave the commission, done, simple, let him go. Why he's leaving and why he's not leaving is irrelevant. If he wants to leave, sharp, shake hands, bye-bye.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's as simple as that. And can we argue against issues? Can we play the ball and not the man, so to speak? I don't think it's good enough to just say he likes drama. If he does want to leave, as has been reported, one can only assume there would be extraordinary reasons for him to want to do so. I mean, this isn't the last legal thing he's going to be asked to do so, to be part of, right? So he would have very substantial reasons, I would assume. We don't quite know what those are, but it is a worry. It is a worry that somebody of his seniority and reputation would want to leave. I don't think it's fair to just say he's being dramatic. What are his reasons? We don't yet know them. And what will the impact be on the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry? He's the chief evidence leader. So whatever reports are submitted, he would have been an integral part of that process. And having already begun with the star witnesses, if he's no longer there, of course it will impact the timelines of the commission. And remember, one of the things he himself outlined at the start was that we are going to stick to the timelines the president gave us for delivering this thing. So I don't think you can be just dismissive and say he must go if he wants to go. I'm far more curious about why he wants to go and what that means for the commission and whatever reports it might eventually publish and submit to the president. I think that is consequential. Anonymous and others were talking about pressure to do the wrong thing. Do you go along to get along? Do you think about your marriage? Do you think about your bond? Do you think about your child at St. What private school? Do you think about what retirement will look like? I've spoken to many a whistleblower in my career. People who did refuse, who did stand up on principle and who found themselves out in the cold, socially, financially, with no prospect of returning. I don't think it's as easy as we all assume it is until we're in that situation.
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance, and it's your chance to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. First, 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then a little later, 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. Today's answer comes from Ernest, who is in Meadowlands. Ernest, I'm clicking and it's not clicking. So, Palisa, maybe you should click. There we go. Your clicker works. Ernest, a very good morning to you. Please give us today's answer.
Good morning, Bongani. Today's answer is Judy Garland.
Judy Garland. Do you know Judy Garland was the mother of Liza Minnelli?
Yes.
Did you know that? I mean, it's an absolutely fantastic career Judy Garland had. All right, Ernest, I'm told you've got a quote from Outsurance. You biscuit, you walk away with 1,000 Rand. Thanks to Outsurance and 702. There you have it. Ernest's answer is Judy Garland. If that is the answer, what is the question? And no, it won't be who is the mother of Liza Minnelli.
EWN Sport.
Call us now on 011-883-0702 to win 2,000 Rand. If the answer is Judy Garland, what's the question? In the meantime, let's catch up with the world of sport Anthony Teixeira. A very good morning to you.
Good morning, Bongani. We'll begin with Arsenal this hour.
Is that where we begin?
Yes.
You've learnt your lesson.
The set-piece kings.
Thank you very much.
Late headers from corner routines saw them complete a 2-1 comeback victory against Newcastle deep into stoppage time. Manager Mikel Arteta says heading to St. James's Park is always a tough task.
Yeah, I believe the conviction of the team that we are and that we can play various type of games and the team still can deliver and win it in a convincing way. And for me today, it's one of the most difficult grounds. Again, praise Newcastle, the way they play, compete, how difficult it is to play in this place. But the team really took the game to a different level, and I'm very proud to see that.
Seeing as you've now decided to become this impartial sports journalist.
Okay.
We were robbed of our penalty, weren't we?
I don't know, because VAR was very tricky this weekend. Honestly.
Wasn't VAR meant to make all of this go away?
It was, it was supposed to. Unfortunately, that has been a complete opposite.
Could have been 3-1.
Look, I think you guys probably deserved all 3 points, if I'm being totally honest. But yeah, question marks over VAR and the way that it's all being dealt with. Because how come every quarter we'll hear, oh no, this was a mistake, this is a mistake, and they're not correcting it in real time. And that's the problem. Yeah. We also saw in the league Aston Villa beating Fulham 3-1. In the Betway Premiership, it was goalless between Chairperson and Stellenbosch. Osiwelele ended a winless run of 7 games with the 1-0 win against Marimo Gallants. Mamelodi Sundowns are now top of the table and 1 point clear of Ekurhuleni United. In case you missed it, both Soweto Giants picked up wins and navigated their way through to the second round of their continental qualifiers. In golf, America tried to become the first team in Ryder Cup history to overturn a deficit of over 4 points on the final day, but they just left it too late as the Europeans ended up winning 15-13. 2 years ago, after winning the Cup in Rome, Rory McIlroy made the prediction that the Europeans would win away for the first time since 2012.
It's nice to be right. I'm not right all the time. I have absolute confidence in this team, absolute confidence in our leader, Luke Donald. You know, as we talk today, 11 of the 12 on the team are the same. The captain's the same. We believed a lot in our continuity. I believe that we had a really special group in Rome, and I felt like we had definitely way more of a chance than we had in Whistling Straits in 2021.
And Marc Marquez was crowned MotoGP champion for a 7th time and the first time with Ducati. Since his last title in 2019, he had to rebuild his career after a horror crash in 2020 saw him fight his way back to fitness midway through the very next season. He says it wasn't a journey that he took alone.
It's like it is more than a title. The most difficult challenge of my career. To go out from there is impossible alone, and many people around me helps. A lot of people that give me the chance to follow my way, to say to me, follow your instinct, we will be your friends anyway.
Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
13-8, this EWN traffic brought to you by the new Opel Grandland. With smart tech and striking design, it's German engineering on a grand scale. Test drive one today at your nearest Opel dealer. Wet roads everywhere. Keep your lights on, a safe following distance, and just be patient. Right, Amo?
Exactly, Bongani. If you are traveling on the N3 North, please be on the lookout for an accident right after Marlborough Drive. It's causing delays. There's also bumper-to-bumper traffic on the N12 as well as the R24 West between the Croft Road and the Kilulis interchange, while traffic on the R24 West in Isando is also backed up coming out of the OR Tambo interchange. Out in Benoni, we still have got that accident on the N12 West near Snake Road, delays coming out of Patfontein Road, and in Alberton, bumper-to-bumper traffic on the R59 North between Swartkoppies Road and the Reading interchange. That's also due to the wet weather conditions as well as an accident right after Swartkoppies Road. Please be on the lookout there. I'll have more updates. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Don't ever settle for great. You know that great feeling after nailing a big presentation? Imagine upgrading that. I'm talking driving home with your car's massage seats, practically high-fiving your bum. Headlights so bright, you feel like the star your boss said you were. Arriving home, making an entrance, grander than your slide transitions. Go grand in the new Opel Grandland. Designed and made in Germany. Visit opel.co.za for more.
Opel Grandland.
To celebrate 25 years of helping you live the Premier life, FNB Premier is giving you a chance to win a 14-day European tour experience and other cool monthly prizes. Open any FNB Premier account from September to 31 December 2025. Switch your salary, swipe or tap a minimum of 2,000 Rand per month for 3 months straight. Spend and win with FNB Premier. FNB, help changes everything. TCs and competition rules apply. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
So, do you want to be a legal eagle and get your foot in the legal industry? The Law Society of South Africa has something for you. Register for a 1-year national certificate in paralegal practice with a preferred legal education institution since 1998 and start your journey as a paralegal today. To register or to find out more, visit lssalead.org.za. That's lssalead.org.za. The Law Society of South Africa.
All cars are designed to move. A Mazda is crafted to move you. Every line, every detail, form in motion, beauty with purpose. So that when you drive, you connect. Car and driver become one. One rhythm. Builds, holds, breaks free. The feeling will find you. Mazda. Wonder awaits. 702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
How's it, Bongani? How's it, 702 Land? Gosh, what a miserable morning it is. It's Stephen here. I come away from the conversations around the police commissioner and the minister so frustrated. I mean, there's almost this idea that because someone is a minister, everything they do now becomes the law. And that's not the case. And I mean, if you're a police commissioner, I mean, you're really a big person. Surely there are ways. I mean, we've all been in positions where we don't like the orders we're given. There are ways to push back. And why didn't he tell us them, what he did, if he didn't like it? I find it just so frustrating. And I got to tell you, more and more, the president's testimony, I think, is going to be very interesting indeed. Anyway, there's thunder again. Check you later. Bye.
Yeah, I mean, I asked that question. How could all of this have happened without him knowing? And what did he know? When did he know it? And what did he do about it? I'm going to tell you some thoughts on what we're hearing from Thabo Mbeki, by the way, because some would argue that so much of this began with him, and it's quite rich that is now coming out as if he has no idea how it all started.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, thanks to Outsurance, please tell me what's the question. If the answer is Judy Garland. We've got Tato in Oakdean. Tato, what's the question?
Hi, Bongani. The question is, what is the name of the leading actress in the 1954 film Star is Born, which was released on this day in 1954?
Yes, indeed. That is absolutely the question. Tato, have you seen any of them? Judy Garland or Streisand or Lady Gaga?
I'm still watching, there's a 1934 film by Robert Redford that I still need to catch up on.
No, 74, not 34.
That one.
Yeah, that's the Streisand one. All right, Tato, good luck to you. Enjoy that film. Maybe watch all three of them, hey, and make a comparison and let us know. But in the meantime, 2,000 Rand is coming your way, all thanks to Outsurance and 702.
Outsurance made it possible for us to travel more with the money that we save. 725. This is really real.
You are the biggest saver we've ever had. 2,794 Rand a month. It was the easiest switch ever. Get real. How is it that Outsurance provided the solution for you?
918 Rand is what I'm saving.
Incredible.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
702
702. What's gone viral?
with Kabazela.
Catch up now at the world of viral content. Kabazela.
Good morning to you, Bella.
How good are your reflexes?
Sure, they used to be very good, but I'm not a parent, so they're not refined anymore. That's, I think, what happens when you become a parent. Hey, your reflexes become so sharpened. And the reason we're talking about reflexes is there is this NFL player, Shaquille Barrett. He's sitting there with his wife and the little baby that they are changing the nappy, and it's his turn to change the nappy. And yeah, maybe, I don't know, the baby had too much milk or whatever it may be, and there was a mishap. And he dodged it. He dodged it very well. His reflexes, I think he's probably never even done this on the football field before. But he's sitting on a chair and he basically leaps up off this chair, and then the chair falls backwards with him. And he did escape any substance, to put it delicately, on his person. And, people were saying, wow, that's proper reflexes and parenting there. And others were saying, well, it's your own child. Why would you do that? But substance is substance. So let's put it out there, Bongles. Parenting reflexes. Now, you've seen many instances where maybe a child is about to fall off a couch or fall off a bike or whatever it may be, and the parents have these instincts, reflexes that they just reach out and grab the baby and prevent it from falling. So I want to hear from our 702 family this morning a instance, or maybe many instances, where you had these reflexes and afterwards you thought to yourself, oh, where did that come from? That was quite impressive. I saved that baby from falling. So let's hear those this morning.
I wonder if it was reflexes or really being determined to avoid the below the belt projectile from the baby, if you follow my meaning.
I do.
All right, let's talk about a nice stick collection.
Yeah, I mean, who collects sticks? And many people collect very, very strange and bizarre things. And good for you, if you want to collect things like that. It's creativity, I suppose. So this woman takes to her TikTok account and says that her boyfriend wants to show her followers his stick collection. So he goes around the forests and he collects these sticks, but they're large sticks, and they have very peculiar shapes to them. And with his imagination, he sees these things in these sticks and he collects them. So let's take a listen to him describing one or two of his stick collection.
What's up, Stick Nation? I'm here with a few of my ultra rare sticks from my collection. Start off with honey. One is range scythe stick. I call dragon head. You can see the shape of a dragon head. It's a nice, and you can really get really powerful slices. And this one is the you just saw that. This is a level 10 wizard staff. I call it you can see up top here. An orb could sit there. This is something Gandalf the White or another wise sage wizard would use. Really one of my favorite pieces.
Now, if you look at
Dragon
the sticks,
head.
I mean, would you have seen a dragon head in that stick if you were walking past it in the forest?
In
Maybe
fairness, it looked a little bit like, certainly the top of it looked a bit like a skull of a small animal of some kind.
Yes.
So I get where he's going with it, but it
Yes.
speaks to odd collections. Hey, Kabazela?
It does. So do you collect odd things or know somebody who collects very odd or unconventional things? And, you may look at it and think, well, why? But, or you're impressed with it. So unconventional collections that you collect or somebody in your life collects. Let's hear about those this morning.
You know what I collect that's unconventional, or it's of interest to me? I collect Vanity Fair magazines that have columns by Christopher Hitchens.
Oh.
Yeah, so if anybody has free Vanity Fair magazines from when Christopher Hitchens used to write the column, that's what I collect. What are your unconventional hobbies for things you collect?
EWN Traffic.
This Eyewitness News Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Amo?
Well, Bongani, at this particular moment, we still have got those delays on the N3 North. This is between the Yelands interchange and the Baklu interchange. There's also bumper-to-bumper traffic on the N12 as well as the R24 West between Craft Road and the Gilulis interchange. If you are traveling on the M2 West, delays between Heidelberg Road and the Crown interchange. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. Like a businesswoman on the way to the airport after sleeping through her alarm. Bags in the back, boarding pass on the dashboard. She prays she'll make her flight. Hope I make it. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic. It's the potential closing of a big deal. Every story's different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance Pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702.
702.
Feedback with Baphelile Sambo.
Baphelile Sambo, do you have any odd collections?
No, unfortunately not.
You don't collect
no,
any
I don't
weird
collect,
things?
Nah, but I keep things. So if you give me something, I'll keep it.
You're a hoarder.
Yeah, in a nice way.
All right, what other feedback do you have?
The feedback has been great this morning, Bongani. 702 lenders are responding to Ray White's question about that one thing you want to buy, but it's out of reach. Listeners mentioned a few fun things.
Yeah.
Like a PS5.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes, there's a caller who called us saying maybe we should do a GoFundMe for Eugene and get him a PS5.
PS5.
You know what? And a Mini Cooper also made the list.
Yeah.
Luxury bags and handbag and shoes made the list.
Yes.
And some everyday wishes like an air fryer, water cooler, you know.
What would you like?
I would love a Mini Cooper as well.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
That is one thing that
You're
I would
not getting
love
that
for
from the
myself.
secret birthday party we are organizing.
A GoFundMe for me, please.
Yeah, right.
And our question about defying bosses. Kristen C. Kaunda messaged us to say that it's easy to think we can stand on principle, but it's much harder in real life, especially when you have bills to pay.
Yeah. And responsibilities and children and life to live.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do? Have you been faced with such a difficult choice? Share your stories with us. And of course, we've reached out to the city of Johannesburg to explain these allegations about officials soliciting bribes to give you your house plans. That's coming up.
This is EWN.
Severe thunderstorms have hit Gauteng, and Ekurhuleni confirms its top cop is now under investigation for alleged connections with the underworld. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The Weather Service has warned that rain in Gauteng will continue today and tomorrow. Since yesterday, most parts of the province have been experiencing heavy downpours. Motorists are being urged to be vigilant on the roads as traffic is expected to peak this morning. Forecaster Litlokhonolo Tobela.
Especially for today into tomorrow, expecting scattered showers and thunder showers over Gauteng and parts of the eastern parts, which would cover Mpumalanga as well as KwaZulu-Natal. And we have these severe thunderstorms may result in heavy downpours that lead to localized flooding, a possibility of damaging winds, as well as a possibility of hail.
Joburg Emergency Services says while no major incidents have been reported so far, its teams are on high alert. Spokesperson Robert Mulaudzi.
Motorists are still urged to continue to exercise caution while driving, extend the safe following distance and try and avoid roads and bridges which might be flooded. Our residents in our low-lying areas to avoid crossing river streams.
The city of Ekurhuleni has confirmed that the Metro's Police Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi is being investigated for allegedly giving favors to alleged underworld figure Vusmusi Kat Matlala. Mkhwanazi is accused of fitting Matlala's personal vehicles with the city's blue lights. The matter was last week referred to the city manager after Mkhwanazi was named at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry for his alleged links to Matlala. Alfara Mushwana reports.
Ekurhuleni Metro Police top cop Julius Mkhwanazi was granted special leave last week after being implicated at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry over his alleged ties to attempted murder accused Vusmuzi Kat Matlala. Mkhwanazi was previously suspended following claims that he supplied Matlala with EMPD blue lights, but he was reinstated and later promoted. Ekurhuleni Mayor Dr. Kagaza says the Metro isn't ignoring allegations that the EMPD has been compromised and infiltrated by crime syndicates.
It is myself as a mayor who then said to the acting system, please commission an investigation because we want to know. And I'm sure the commission will sit and very soon it will shed the light.
The allegations of the criminal infiltration of the EMPD were raised by KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi during his testimony at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. The commission will resume hearings into claims of wider corruption in the justice system today. Alfa Ramshwana, Eyewitness News.
The Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, meanwhile, says it won't allow for its work to be derailed by claims of internal cracks following reports that Chief Evidence Leader Terry Motau wants out. This follows reports by the City Press that Motau has requested to leave the commission, chaired by retired Constitutional Court Justice Mbuyiseni Madlanga. The commission says it will continue with the business of the day when hearings resume today, with corruption-accused crime intelligence boss Dumisani Khumalo set to testify. Khumalo, a key witness, has featured prominently in testimony given before the Commission's public hearings so far. Oren Singh reports.
The Madlanga Commission says it will not publicly discuss internal staffing matters. Spokesperson Jeremy Michael says the Commission is squarely focused on its job to conduct an inquiry into the gravely serious allegations that law enforcement agencies have been infiltrated by criminal syndicates and drug cartels. The testimony by crime intelligence boss Dumisani Khumalo comes amid a cloud of uncertainty over his job following his recent arrest by the Investigating Directorate Against Corruption on fraud and corruption charges. This is linked to the appointment of Teneo Mokwele to a senior post within the unit, despite her not having any previous policing experience. Police sources claim Khumalo's arrest deeply angered his ally, KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhonazi, who accused IDAC of playing politics. Arun Singh, Eyewitness News.
Local councillor at Merimi Informal Settlements in So Shangu, Vetsepo Malefane, says tighter controls are needed to regulate community patrollers. Malefane's comments come half a year after patrollers were attacked by a group of unknown men in March. 6 people were killed in what's believed to have stemmed from an alleged altercation between community patrollers and the attackers. While Malefane admits it was a big mistake to allow unregistered patrollers to work in the area, he says the high levels of crime have pushed residents into a corner. Jabuli Lembata has more.
Councillor of Merimi Informal Settlement, Tepo Malefane, says a new team of patrollers has not been assigned to the area. He says the families of the victims cannot be compensated for being injured or killed on duty because they were not hired officially by the Department of Community Safety.
The biggest mistake that we did was to allow patrollers to patrol without having been followed proper procedures. As and when they patrol on daily basis, they must register with SAPS, there must be an attendance register. We feel that this time around we need to follow it to the latter.
The provincial government, which covered a portion of the funeral costs for 6 slain patrollers, says it is also prohibited by law to compensate the families for the ordeal. Jabuli Lembata, Eyewitness News.
And police in India have filed a case against 3 senior members of Indian actor turned politician Vijay's TVK party. This comes after 40 people died in a crush at a political rally held in his honor. It's understood Vijay addressed the crowd of tens of thousands of people when a group of his supporters and fans fell while attempting to get closer to his bus, triggering the crush. The victims included 9 children. Deadly crushes are not uncommon in India, and there have been several similar incidents in this year alone, including at a Hindu festival outside a cricket stadium. Gold is trading at $3,806.38 an ounce. The rand is at 17.29 to the dollar, 23.24 to the pound, 20.28 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $69.79 a barrel.
In Boksburg, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic on the N17 west between Rondebolt Road and Osborne Road due to an accident. While travelling on the M2 west, we've got delays between Heidelberg Road and the Crown Interchange.
And in your sport, David Moyes and his Everton will take on a newly hired Nuno Espirito Santo and West Ham this evening in the Premier League. Rory McIlroy reflects on the abuse he's received from fans throughout the Ryder Cup weekend, and Carlos Alcaraz marches into the Japan Open semi-finals despite injury concerns.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with widespread showers and thunder showers. The temperatures will peak at highs between 21 and 22 degrees. The top story in EWM this hour, the Weather Service has warned that rain in Gauteng is expected to continue today and tomorrow.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes after 8 o'clock, we're keeping an eye on developments all around us. The Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, of course, continues today, and it is expected that the suspended crime intelligence boss, Dumisani Khumalo, will be testifying. We heard reports over the weekend that Advocate Terry Mutau, the chief evidence leader, wants out of the commission. What that will mean in terms of its ability to release its reports and conclude this inquiry timelessly remains to be seen. Far more importantly, I want to know why he wants to leave. In Gauteng, the SIU releasing an interim report into the 850 million rand corruption at Tembisa Hospital. This is all, of course, what Babita Diokoran died for in that 2021 expose. So we're going to find out at least where the money went, if you will. And listen to this. A 35-year-old granny is due in the Durban Magistrates Court after allegedly stealing a 9-month-old baby from his home. The child was safely recovered in Mpangeni, unharmed, following a police operation. Yay, we love hearing that. Preliminary investigations suggest the nanny misled her boyfriend into thinking the baby was theirs.
Gosh, that's odd.
Right? What
that's
a story.
Odd. Yeah.
On this day in 2009, Kanye West's Stronger became his third #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, and it topped the UK singles chart, a milestone from his album Graduation that helped define an era of electronic and house-influenced hip-hop rave.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
I noted with some interest over the weekend the former President Thabo Mbeki speaking at the ANC's political school, and one of the things he mentioned was his relief that when they all got together, they were in fact discussing policy instead of singing songs and dancing. And he says often when colleagues from the Chinese Communist Party come to South Africa, because, you know, the ANC has this revered history, whatever one might think of it today, they're always amazed. When do you guys discuss policy? You're always singing and dancing. But there is a piece really worth reading. I mean, anybody who knows me knows I love the pen and the ire that comes from Barney Mtomboti, the columnist for the Sunday Times, veteran newsman. And he's talking about the Madlanga Commission in his latest piece. And he suggests that the idea of political interference in police operations should really come as no surprise to anybody who's been paying attention to South African developments and politics for the last little while, because of course we know it is, as he argues, ANC dogma to have control of the arms of the state and everything else. This is part of their deployment policies, and you can take it all the way back, argues Barney Mtomboti, to the 1985 Kabwe conference, where O.R. Tambo said cadres needed to get themselves ready to govern. It escalated, of course, in 1994 when they said they want to deploy suitably qualified personnel in all structures of government at all levels. But it was in Mahikeng that the policy was firmly established, right? Remember the strategy and tactics document adopted at that conference? And it said, I quote now, they should account to the ANC and seek its broad guidance. We proceed always from the premise that there is one ANC, irrespective of the many and varied sectors in which cadres are deployed. And so they wanted key centers of authority and responsibility to be brought under the ANC's leadership. And it was also very clear to cadres that if any of them were to disavow whatever the instructions they were given, there would be dire consequences. And so Mtomboti wants to know, why are we suddenly so surprised? And he links the problems in our police force to Thabo Mbeki himself. And he says in 2000, he appointed Jackie Selebi, who had no policing experience, knew nothing about policing, and said, we're going to make that guy the top cop. Jacob Zuma followed with Bheki Cele and Ria Pheega and others. Finally, we have Fanny Masemola, who is a career cop, in that position, and even he buckles under the pressure of political interference. Because as you heard in our big interview, cadres are often reminded, you were sent there by us. You are there for our bidding and at our behest.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Morning, Bongani. Manford here. Yeah, now I will refuse to listen to you guys because you don't address me as a doctor. I never knew this world will be so funny. Doctor? Yeah, thank you.
Morning, Bongs. Yeah, I think you're being a bit unreasonable, especially with the whole doctor thing. I mean, if they ask for your title anyway, if you're a doctor, whether you're a medical doctor or anyway, it doesn't specify whether you're a medical doctor or a doctor in philosophy, whatever. You know, his title is doctor, and they should call him by that. I mean, normally they use surnames, so it's going to be Timothy, whatever. You know, so it has to be doctor, whatever, with the surname at the end. So I think you're being a bit harsh on the guy. It's not even a big story.
What? Help me understand.
I don't think he had the last bit
Understood,
of the story about the money that went to waste because of this emphasis on the name, on the
title.
doctor, on the title. Yes.
Right? So if you've just joined us, we're talking about this member of the Limpopo Provincial Legislature who has a PhD in public administration, who cancelled, it's reported, 3 plane tickets from Qatar Airways because they wouldn't print the title doctor on the ticket.
That's crazy. Yeah, this story's crazy.
1.8 million rand it's come down to because he said, I'm not flying if my doctor title is not on that ticket. You think I'm being harsh?
No, come on.
What does that say about you, buddy? Huh? Dr. Ray?
Yeah, come on.
Nothing to say.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by the new Opel Grandland. With smart tech and striking design, it's German engineering on a grand scale. Test drive one today at your nearest Opel dealer. Dr. Amo?
Well, Dr. Bongani, we've got heavy traffic volumes on the roads this morning due to the wet weather conditions. People are driving a bit slower than usual, which is a good sign from listening onto the traffic reports this morning. But we have delays between Modderfontein Road and the Baklu interchange. That's on the N3 North. There's also bumper-to-bumper traffic along the N17 West. An accident reported between Osborne and the Roundabout Road. While traveling on the R59 North, delays between the Swartkopis Road off-ramp and the Reading interchange. Please be on the lookout there. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Great entrance? Forget that. Make a grand entrance. Grand! Be late, make everyone wait, and be grateful they did. Peeps be rubbernecking, staring gormlessly like deer in your 50,000 intelligent LED headlights. Grand! Make a grand entrance in the new Opel Grandland, designed and made in Germany. Achtung, baby. Grand! It's even got massage seats. Uber grand! Visit opel.co.za for more.
Soccer and speed meet this season with Hollywood Bets and Aziz Shege. Be in the game. The thrilling competition sees 4 million rand in cash and prizes up for grabs. The first of 4 brand new vehicles is a top-of-the-range Toyota Rumian. Simply bet 10 rand or more on any soccer fixture or fixtures online or at your nearest branch to qualify. Feel the fever and bet now on the action.
T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp HELP to 076 675 0710.
Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for plumbers, electricians, and other tradesmen. Pumlani.
Switching to Outsurance was one of the best decisions that we've ever made. We needed business cover over 15 million. Outsurance came forth for us. At Kani, we sleep better at night, knowing that we always get something out of Outsurance.
Switch to Business Outsurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
18 after 8. So are you planning to renovate your house, perhaps even sell it? One of the things you'll need are the original plans of the building in which you live. But there's been a little difficulty. The Metro Centre, the city's historical archive, with more than 1 million documents, has been inaccessible since its closure in 2023. And what that means is many residents who have needed those plans simply haven't been able to get them. And now fresh allegations have emerged in the Sunday Times yesterday that in fact some officials will solicit bribes to try and help you get your documents. So they'll help you, but for the low price of 2,000 odd rand or thereabouts. But there are major implications outside of the allegations of bribery for this archive not being taken care of. So we've invited the city of Johannesburg, and we've got on the line Yoliswa Makhasi, who is the city's development planning MMC, who joins us now. MMC, appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us in 702 Breakfast.
Thank you, Bongani, and good morning to the listeners at home.
All right. What is the state of this archive that, of course, was housed at the Metro Centre? What is the state of it currently?
The status of that particular the situation that we have now, I would say, it's stable. We are able to get our documents. Residents are able to access those documents, and there's safety as well in the Metro Center. So you have our security officers who are actually guarding those documents. So we have currently moved into a new building in New Town. That's where residents are invited to come and collect. But at the Metro Center itself, it's only our officials that are allowed to go into, obviously because we want to make sure that all documents of our residents are kept well, and there is nothing that sinister that might happen to them. So we have made sure that there is security 24/7 in that building. So as far as we know, the documents are secured and are safe where they are currently.
All right. Has it become more difficult to access those documents because obviously even in the best case scenario, even if they're under guard, as you've suggested at the Metro Centre, for one to be able to obtain them, they have to be moved from there to this new location where you're saying residents may now access them once an application has been made. Has that made access a little harder?
It hasn't, because we have not received any complaints from our residents. So we take it that our residents are actually treated as they are expected to be treated, because we needed to make sure that these documents are safe at the Metro Center. You would have you'll have many allegations if we had to open Metro Center and everyone would go into Metro Center. And for the issues of the safety at Metro Center as well, I think you're all aware of what is happening. So officials can only be able to access that building as per the requirement. Only officials.
All right.
And residents can reach us. In fact, there's an assigned email address where you can even request via email, so that we can then collect on your behalf and indicate when you can collect your documents.
Give us that email,
documents
please.
Are safe. Come again?
Give us that email address, please.
Okay, the email is Holoko Patrick K at Joburg.
Just spell Holoko for me, please.
Okay, KGO.
Yes.
LO.
Right.
KO.
Yeah.
PA.
Yeah.
TR.
Yes. Continue. MMC.
IC.
Yeah.
KK. at joburg.org.za.
At joburg.org.za. So for anybody who has battled to find their plans for whatever reason, they simply email Holoko Patrick K at joburg.org.za.
Yes.
What's your response to the allegations in the Sunday Times that anecdotally There are lots of complaints from people who have not been able to get their plans, and now they're saying that there are some officials who say for the low price, they may be able to assist them for a bribe. What's your response to that one?
Look, as the city were quite clear in terms of elements of corruption in our city, we're quite clear that if there is evidence of bribery that might emerge in our city, we are always open. If stakeholders or developers can actually share that information with us, if there's evidence, they can give us that evidence so that we can be able to refer the matter to chiefs for investigation. And of course, once the wrongdoing is confirmed, then disciplinary processes will be instituted without any delay, actually. So if there's evidence that can be provided to us, even to myself, I can even share my number here, so that if there's anything of corruption that is actually experienced out there in our city, we are more than happy to actually attend to it as quickly as possible.
We'll keep your number, but if we do get complaints, we'll certainly forward them your way if we get them. Final question. What happens if a resident is unable to obtain their original plans because they're no longer there, they've been lost, or they cannot be found? What recourse do they have when that might be the case?
I would request those residents to actually visit my office. We're also currently placed there at New Junction Mall. That's where all of us, we're all there with officials, our offices and everyone. It's there. The executive director's office is there as well.
Yep.
They can also go to his office as well.
All right. Sample of one.
To lay a complaint.
Sample of one MMC. I'll certainly be taking you up on that offer as a frustrated resident in Johannesburg, but I appreciate you being available on the show this morning. So there you have it. The MMC Eunice Mgcina says, what concerns? Residents can get their plans quite easily for, I presume, the nominal fee that they're meant to, but no bribes, certainly not in the thousands of rands, are being requested. If you're an architect, if you're a developer, if you're somebody who's a homeowner, have you struggled? Has it been as seamless as the MEC suggests? I'd really love to know.
702, The World View.
With Adam Gilchrist.
From local to global, let's catch up with news from elsewhere in the world. Adam Gilchrist, let's start with this Indian crowd crush, dozens dead at a political rally.
Morning. Yeah, I think it's a few months ago we were talking about a crowd crush in India, and that was at a rally for a religious figure. But this time here we have a politician. Well, he's an actor turned politician called Vijay, very, very popular in parts of India. And here we are in the southern state of Tamil Nadu. 10,000 people were meant to turn up for the rally. It was more like 20, maybe even 30,000 people did. And Vijay himself was 6 hours late, which did not help in stifling heat. And when he left, suddenly there was a stampede. We've heard that before. And it said at least 40 people have died. 51 people are in hospital receiving treatment. And Vijay's TVK party has a few questions to answer about how they handled the crowd. Crowd management is absolutely crucial in these things, and it looks like something was amiss.
A very big difference between being an actor and a political leader, isn't there, Adam? Tell me about renewed sanctions on Iran.
Yeah, this is part of the deal that was signed by a number of countries 10 years ago, and it was all about basically Iran's nuclear ambitions. And as a result of, quote, continued nuclear escalation or a lack of cooperation, either way, now 3 of the European countries who signed up to that deal have said, right, those sanctions will be reimposed effectively. So the UK, France, and Germany have decided that basically Iran is up to no good. Remember, Israel and the US bombed several Iranian nuclear sites. Iran's president has said they have no intention of developing nuclear weapons. But again, something is awry, and therefore, I mean, I guess it's one of those things you don't even have to prove it, really. You just have to be the UK, France, and Germany going, that's it. Whether sanctions work or not is another matter, because Iran has friends in high places, Russia not least.
Talk to me. I mean, it's not quite Kevin Costner and Robin Wright, but tell me about this message in a bottle.
Now, there was a film to make you weep, wasn't it? Yeah, yeah. This is less weepy, I would say. A British boy thought, you know what? He was always interested in pirates, this little lad. So he thought he'd throw a bottle into the sea with a cork in it with a message inside, an old rum bottle as well, with the help of his mum. 8-year-old Harrison Mizens sent it into the North Sea from South Shields near Newcastle. And you think because of the way the tides are in the Gulf Stream, it would end up in Denmark or Norway or somewhere like that. But no, it seems to have got into a spin and done an about turn and gone 7,000 kilometers in the other direction to the Caribbean, where it's been found by a small boy in St. Lucia. The small boy in St. Lucia replied to the message in the bottle, "I found your note while fishing with my dad. The bottle got caught up in some nets. We're having a good day, thank you. Hope you are too." Now, this doesn't settle any wars or create any good fortunes or even begin a chapter of a book, but it's kind of sweet that two boys can communicate old school 7,000 Ks apart.
Yeah, I once had a pen pal from Spain. Yeah, when I was growing up, my pen pal was from Spain. Gosh, message in a bottle. Would anyone respond? Adam Gilchrist with this morning's Worldview.
EWN Business.
All right, our final business update for the morning. Ray White, the US softening its stance on South Africa, be it ever so slightly.
It's quite an interesting story. The US State Department has now released an overview of our country's economy, and there are hopes for a better trade deal. This time there's no mention of white genocide by the State Department. However, the report flags the uncertainty created by land expropriation and BBBEE. It says these are making it rather difficult for US companies to operate in our country. Business Day says the State Department's report also flags SA's competition regime, including the Competition Commission. It says the Commission is taking an increasingly social activist approach by prioritizing public interest criteria over other more traditional antitrust and monopoly criteria. But the report noted that our country's independent judiciary, rule of law, free media, that's us, a mature financial and services sector, together with deep and well-regulated capital markets, are key enablers to investment. So that's good news.
Indeed, that is good news. And Ray, a possible US government shutdown this Wednesday.
You see, that's the whole thing. It's investors are bracing for this shutdown of the US government, which would in turn delay publication of the September payroll report and a raft of other key data. US President Donald Trump will meet with the top Democratic and Republican leaders in Congress today to discuss extending government funding. Without a deal, the shutdown would begin from Wednesday. That's what we're looking at. Looking at the rand now, it's 17.28 to the dollar, the pound at 23.23, the euro 20.26, platinum $1,623.83, gold is $3,814.10, and Brent crude oil is $68.84 a barrel. More business news with Stephen later on today.
Coming up, a stunning interview with the opera singer Phumeza Macheza. And then, of course, let's go to the news desk. Sfiso Zulu, when people take the law into their own hands, what could possibly go wrong?
That's right, Bongani. We start in Cape Town, where 4 people have been killed in alleged vigilante attacks in Khayelitsha this morning. Police responded to a murder complaint in Nkandla informal settlement and discovered the body of a man burnt beyond recognition. While attending to that scene, officers were then alerted to another incident in the same area where the bodies of 2 men were found also burnt. The police's Andre Trout.
In a separate but possibly related matter, at about 2 o'clock, the body of a 30-year-old male was discovered in the settlement with multiple stab wounds. He was declared dead on the scene by medical personnel. The South African Police Service strongly condemns these violent acts, which bear the hallmarks of vigilante killings.
The Special Investigating Unit is set to release the highly anticipated interim report into allegations of corruption, maladministration and irregularities at the troubled Tembisa Hospital. President Cyril Ramaphosa authorized the SIU to investigate corruption at the facility in 2023 following the murder of whistleblower and chief accountant at the Gauteng Health Department, Babita Deokaran, in 2021. SIU head and ND Mutibi, Health Minister Aaron Motsoaledi and Premier Panyaza Lesufi are among officials that are expected to lead a media briefing detailing the preliminary findings today. Tandaluteng Ngobo reports.
More than 100 officials have been implicated across 4 syndicates at the Tembisa Hospital's procurement and contracting processes. The SIU confirmed last month that unlawful contracts have been cancelled and disciplinary measures have been taken. The SIU also pledged to recover assets and refer criminal cases to the National Prosecuting Authority. The interim report is expected to shed more light on the scale of financial losses, systemic weaknesses in procurement, the role of implicated officials, and next steps for accountability. Thandoluhle Ngcobo, Eyewitness News.
Joburg Mayor Dada Morero has again shrugged off claims of financial misconduct and poor governance amid heightened calls for accountability of the city's water crisis. Morero's administration is under more scrutiny following the latest reports that 4 billion rand had been removed from the Joburg Water's account. He says no funds have been lost, adding that the city operates under a transparent and compliant financial system. Nogukayam Dambo reports.
Joburg Mayor Dada Morero says the money is not missing, but says the relocation of the funds is as a result of a global treasury practice known as sweeping that automatically transfers balances from municipal entities' accounts into the city's primary account. He says the purpose of the sweeping is not to remove or hide money, but to efficiently manage the city's liquidity, optimizing cash flow and reducing transaction fees. Morero believes the claims that money is lost undermines public confidence and diverts attention from the real work of delivering basic services to communities. The city is currently under pressure to resolve a failure to provide water to some communities, including areas in the west of Joburg, where violent protests broke out last month over dry taps. Nogukanyam Dambo, Eyewitness News.
And in New York, Mayor Eric Adams has abandoned his re-election bid after failing to gain momentum against Democratic nominee Zoran Mamdani. A once popular mayor, Adams was dogged by corruption allegations and criticized over cooperating with Donald Trump's immigration crackdown. Criminal charges were dropped against him earlier this year, prompting resignations at the Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office and the Justice Department in a protest against alleged political interference by the Trump administration. Adams dropping out leaves the field open for a battle between 33-year-old Mamdani and fellow Democrat 67-year-old Andrew Cuomo, who is running as an independent after being beaten in the Democratic primary. Adams recorded a video announcing his decision.
And yet, despite all we've achieved, I cannot continue my re-election campaign. The constant media speculation about my future and the Campaign Finance Board's decision to withhold millions of dollars have undermined my ability to raise the funds needed for a serious campaign.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with widespread showers and thunder showers today. The temperatures will peak at highs between 21 and 22.
And in the traffic, we still have got that major accident on the N17 West, right near Roundabout Road, causing heavy delays. Please be on the lookout there. While traveling on the M2 West, another accident scene. This one is right near Shilver Street, is causing delays. Please be on the lookout.
The top story, 4 people have been killed in alleged vigilante attacks in Khayelitsha in Cape Town this morning.
So you thought you were building a business? In this economy? Good luck. But day by day, somehow it grew. You became payroll, procurement, PR, and pressure valve. You kept going when the freezer didn't freeze, the bucket didn't budge, and the bank balance barely blinked. What's that saying again? What doesn't kill your business makes it stronger? Or at least it should be that. So you thought you were building a business. You weren't. It was building you. Because this isn't just what you do anymore. It's who you are. And you don't trust just anybody to protect it. Chat to your broker about Old Mutual Insure Business Insurance. Protect what built you. Old Mutual Insure Limited is a licensed FSP and non-life insurer.
Welcome to the brand new days. Sail the world with Norwegian Cruise Line. With more to see, more to do, and more to enjoy. Plus, upgrade your holiday with NCL's More at Sea for premium beverages, specialty dining, and much more. Think international cruising. Think NCL. For the best deals available, visit ncl.com or contact your travel agent. Restrictions apply. Welcome to the brand new days.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Bongani and team. Goli here. In a state-captured South Africa, many people, especially in public service, it's not that easy to defy your bosses. Remember where we're coming from with the state capture. The worms are coming out now. But people have suffered, people have had to resign under pressure with no support, even when you report to the ones above you. Instead, you could be sidelined for the whole year or 2 or 3, just going to the office. They frustrate you until your mental health gives in and you resign and leave the job, not to be supported by anyone actually at the end. Yeah, easier said than done. Bye.
Good morning, Bongani. It's Mali here. Bongani, listening to this conversation, it's easy for people to say, no, I would never do that. But trust me, when you are faced with that, with someone who's superior to you, someone whom you report to, whom your career depends on, trust me, you will do it, Bongani. How many of us have been told to do something that you know that, no, actually, this is not the right way, but your boss tells you, no, do this. So I feel sorry for that guy, Fanny Masimola. Thank you.
Sure, Bongani. Yeah, it's a difficult word, and it is meant to sound so simple, do the right thing or do the wrong thing. But if you don't listen to your principal and you're out in the street and you've got debts and debts and debts piling up, you will regret having taken the decision to do the right thing. But in a country like ours, where whistleblowing is a bit of a problem, you may just be killed. I think I would have personally also gone down the route of the commission.
EWN Sport.
Good morning, I'm Anthony Teixeira. There's one more match left in match day 6 of the Premier League. It'll be a first outing for newly hired Nuno Espirito Santo with West Ham, and it's against an in-form Everton. Toffee's manager David Moyes credits that down to their away form.
There's been a feel-good factor all around the club for a long time, so considering maybe where it had been in the past, I think there's a lot of good things get done and the team have played really well. So since certainly January time, we've tended to pick up points. We've had a really good away record in the main.
Kickoff is at 9 p.m. Meanwhile, Liverpool are top of the table, 2 points clear of Arsenal, who won 2-1 at St James's Park yesterday. Gabriel with a stoppage time, a winner against Newcastle. The Springboks will be turning their attention to Twickenham and their final Rugby Championship match against Los Pumas at the weekend. The win over them saw them move top of the log and in control of their own destiny and potentially winning back-to-back titles for the first time in their history. Here's coach Rassie Erasmus.
So what we are trying to do is build not just combinations, is build an understanding of everybody, how we try to play. And look, we've won nothing yet in this rugby championship. So, and we've won one win, one loss against New Zealand and Australia. And you know how tough these Argentinian mindsets is. So we still have to go and win next week.
In case you missed it, the English women were crowned world champs for a third time after they picked up a 33-13 win over Canada in the World Cup final. Mixed results for the South African URC teams. The Bulls and Stormers won, while the Lions and Sharks tasted defeat to begin their campaigns. In golf, Europe have now won 7 of the last 10 Ryder Cups after they secured an away 15-13 win. Ugly scenes throughout the weekend in New York, with fans fighting in the grandstands and abusing the European players, with Rory McIlroy often the target. The golfer reflected on the behaviour witnessed.
I don't think we should ever accept that in golf. I think golf should be held to a higher standard than what was seen out there this week. Golf has the ability to unite people. Golf teaches you very good life lessons. It teaches you etiquette. It teaches you how to play by the rules. It teaches you how to respect people. And sometimes this week we didn't see that. So no, this should not be what is acceptable in the Ryder Cup.
And in tennis, Carlos Alcaraz has marched into the Japan Open Final 4 despite injury concerns. He's set to meet Casper Ruud this morning, while Taylor Fritz plays an unseeded Jensen Brooksby. Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
Well, traveling on the N14 way east, we've got delays reported. This is just as you approach the Braakfontein interchange. Please be on the lookout there. And staying in Centurion, an accident reported on Old Johannesburg Road. It's causing heavy delays coming out of the Braakfontein turn off. There's also another one on the N14 North. This one is right near Hendrickford Bridge. Please be on the lookout there and drive with care. While on the N1 South towards Midrand, delays between the Braakfontein turn-off and Olifantsfontein Road. There's also heavy delays on the N3 North between Marlborough Drive and the Baklu interchange. And then in Boksburg, that accident is still there on the N17 West. This is just between the Osborne Road and Rondebult Road. Please be on the lookout there and drive with care. More updates at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
To celebrate 25 years of helping you live the Premier life, FNB Premier is giving you a chance to win a 14-day European tour experience and other cool monthly prizes. Open any FNB Premier account from September to 31 December 2025. Switch your salary, swipe or tap a minimum of 2,000 Rand per month for 3 months straight. Spend and win with FNB Premier. FNB, help changes everything. TCs and competition rules apply. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
Let's rewind 6 years, when Twitter was still Twitter, not a letter of the alphabet. TikTok was simply the sound your clock made. And Zoom just meant enlarging a picture. So it makes you wonder, what will the next 6 years bring? Hino trucks now come standard with a 6-year drivetrain warranty, covering everything from pistons to gears. So although a lot can change in 6 years, our warranty promise won't. T's and C's apply. Hino, all the way. 702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Wait, Bongani, I'm just as shocked as you are with this voice note that this guys think this thing is not a big deal of this guy with the doctor thing. What? Really? No, the bar is so low. The bar is so low. How can you buy so many tickets just to be respected or to be recognized as a doctor? No, man. No, Bongani, no, I don't agree with you all the time, and which is healthy. But today I do agree with you. No.
Morning, Bongani. Morning, team. So, in my case, whether you're a doctor or you're a professor or whatever it is, I call you Mr. Because genitally so, you are a Mr. or either a Sir. So this thing of the title is being obtained academically and then they are forced to us to call them doctors. For me, it doesn't work. Let me just tell you a short story. So it happens where I work and I was forced to call someone with a doctor, but with their title as a doctor academically, so obtained academically, sorry. So I refused. And I called them Mr. And then we had a problem with that. And then I said, it's fine. I'd rather lose my job other than being forced to call people with the titles that they just obtain. That for me, it's bullying. Thank you.
Morning, Bongani. I think when it comes to his title, I completely understand the fact that he is making a fuss about him being called a doctor because they need to also acknowledge that a doctor isn't just only a medical doctor. However, this is in now you taking away the funds that belong to South Africa, and you should have just acknowledged that this is poor service from such a country, and acknowledge that and continue with his life, still take the flight, and it would have prevented the funds getting to this crazy 1.8 million that we discussing today. Yeah, thank you. Mzwa in Brakpan. Thank you.
Wait, Bongani, I'm just as shocked as you are with this voice note that this guys think this thing is not a big deal of this guy with the doctor thing. What? Really? No, the bar is so low. The bar is so low. How can you buy so many tickets just to be respected or to be recognized as a doctor? No, man. No, Bongani, no, I don't agree with you all the time, and which is healthy. But today I do agree with you. No.
Good morning, 72 Land. So I agree with Amu.
my one thing that I want to buy, but I can't afford it now. And also, I've made my partner to actually promise to gift it to me as a push gift should the day we have a child and I give birth to that child. I need a push present, and it's definitely a never full bag. It is so gorgeous, and I'll obviously use it as a mummy bag as well. The durability of the bag, it is just one of the most finest bags ever a woman can ever have, and I think we all dream of it. So yeah, that's one gift, and hopefully I might get it. Actually, I have to hold it to him to provide that gift.
Morning, Bongles. In the East Rand and Ekurhuleni, they also don't have the plans, so every single homeowner that sells is forced to have plans drawn up. It's just a way of raising additional revenue for the council. Once again, our thieving politicians.
Morning, guys. Morning, guys. Nice show as always. Bradley from Runback. Honestly speaking, what I would like to buy now, if I can get enough cash, it's a farm. I love farm lifestyle. You have your own meat there. You have got your own veggies. You have got I would like to buy a farm and stay there. That's it.
James, congrats on the babies.
Yeah, thanks. It's a wild ride.
You're a new dad, 2 babies, 0 sleep, and 1 car that apparently couldn't cope.
Yeah, the hatchback was my baby, but it just didn't have enough space for my 2 new babies.
And are you happy with the price when you sold to We Buy Cars?
Very. We've even got some extra cash to splurge on one of those fancy prams that you basically need a license for.
Good luck, James. We Buy Cars. Geared for family, geared for you.
At the heart of global conversations shaping our future, Africa's voice is more important than ever. As proud lead sponsor of the B20, the Standard Bank Group is honored to showcase the continent's growth, partnerships, and potential on the world stage. Because driving Africa's growth isn't just our ambition, it's our purpose. Tune in every Monday from 3 p.m. for the Standard Bank B20 In Brief for key insights and updates around the B20. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays,
12 to 1.
What will it take to end load reduction in 12 months?
We're starting in the areas where we've already had the community engagement going to roll out. And that's why I'm talking about a timeline of 12 to 18 months. 12 months, if there's little to no resistance, 18 months for us to finish all of this, if you like, hard to access the areas. But we are more than confident with the level of technical preparation and the kind of engagement that we have already had with some of the communities.
Dr. Josienso Ramakopa.
The Midday Report.
With Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
On 702. Let's walk the talk.
What a voice. The voice of an angel. South Africa's own soprano superstar, Phumeza Makhasi. She's home and she's been making a bit of history along the way. So, fresh from wowing audiences in Sicily with Aida, she has been honored at the Joburg City Theatre's 45th anniversary gala, where her name will shine forever on the wall of fame. And as if that wasn't enough, she's gifting us a once-in-a-lifetime heritage musical concert at the Rand Club, blending classical brilliance with rich South African soul. Phumeza Makhasi, welcome to 702 Breakfast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Bongani.
When you hear yourself like that, I mean, is there still times, or are there still times when you pinch yourself?
I never get used to it. When I listen, I hear, oh, I could have improved that. I should do that better. That could have been better. I'm telling you.
Are you tough on yourself
It's not
that
really
way?
so fun for me to
Really?
listen to myself. Yes.
What attracted you to this music?
Well, I grew up singing in choirs, and I heard opera on the radio when I was about 14 or 15. And it sounded a bit similar to what we were doing in choirs, but a little bit more sophisticated. And I just wanted to be able to sing like that and to know how they got to sing like that.
Listen, any of us could listen to, in my case, a great tenor, for example, right? The fact that I can appreciate Pavarotti does not mean I have the ability to sing like that. When did you know you were that good?
I don't know. Maybe it's because I grew up getting solo pieces. My first solo, I think I was 7. I was given it in primary school. And so I was a soloist in my school, and also I was a soloist in the community choirs.
It's one thing to have some measure of success in your hometown, perhaps even in your home province. You've reached international acclaim. We not only celebrate you here in South Africa, but indeed around the world. You are a recognized soprano. That surely must be exciting.
It is very exciting. It's also hard work. I know when people see opera singers, they see the beautiful gowns, but really to do this kind of job is like being a sports person. You have to keep fit vocally and try to keep psychologically and emotionally balanced. I mean, it's not always possible to do those things, but you have to try by all means.
And of course, you're not only singing in an opera, you're also acting in. Some of the characters could be very different from you, right?
Yes.
How do you connect to those characters that are very different from the real Phumeza, but you have to perform and sing this character and play it out and cry and weep and beg and do all of that dramatic stuff?
The reason why, for example, as an opera singer, you cannot sing roles just because you have a voice for them. So let's say you cannot maybe sing Tosca when you are 20, even if you have the notes, but you also need to grow emotionally to be able to support your roles emotionally, to have more experiences in life, heartbreaks, loss, and things like that. And if some experience I haven't had, I read about them and I watch people. So sometimes I base my characters. I think, oh, this sounds like my friend so-and-so or someone I know, and I incorporate that into the character.
And when you are in Italy, I mean, you're in Aida, this is Verdi's work. Have you encountered moments where people gave you, because you're this girl from Africa, a let's see attitude?
No, I haven't encountered that. At least not directly to my face. Opera, in a way, is very much diverse. The first time I sang Aida, it was in Hanover in Germany, and we had 34 nationalities in one stage, including the chorus and the soloists.
So this is a world where people are used to international collaborations, international performers.
Definitely.
Honor in your own hometown? What does that mean for you, being part of Joburg City Theatre's Wall of Fame?
This is a big one for me. It's when I got the email, I was pleasantly surprised, of course, and I quickly said, oh, yes, sure, thank you. I'm really honored. I love South Africa. I'm a South African. It doesn't matter that I've lived in Europe for more than 20 years, but my heart, my heartbeat is a South African beat, and to have that from home meant so much to me.
One of my favorite singers is Leontine Price.
Oh, wow.
She says, even to me, talking about herself, she says, I listen to my voice and at times I go, oh, that is a thing of beauty. Is that how you feel about your?
Not really. I'm listening to things that I should improve. But what makes me happy is, for example, the reaction of an audience. When people are happy, then I am happy.
Can I tell you, when we hear you, we think, oh, this is a thing of beauty.
That's amazing.
Was there a moment in your career where you were on a stage, perhaps you were honored, maybe you were in a duet, where you thought, this is it. I've done what I set out to do?
I think my last Aida in Sicily, because I had never sung in Sicily before, and I did 3 venues, and to see in some venues you had about 15,000 people watching, and it was outdoors. That was for me very exciting.
Phumeza Matshikiza, congratulations on all the success so far. We know the journey is still long. There's so much more for you to still do.
Yes.
So many stages to still conquer. But you are a shining example, flying the South African flag high on international stages far and wide.
Thank you, Bongani. Thank you.
Phumeza Matshikiza.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. 4 people have been killed in alleged vigilante attacks in Cape Town this morning. Police responded to a murder complaint at an informal settlement in Khayelitsha and discovered the body of a man burnt beyond recognition. While attending to that scene, officers were also alerted in Khayelitsha and discovered the body of a man burnt beyond recognition. While attending to that scene, officers were also alerted to another incident in the same area where the bodies of 3 men were also found burnt. The police's Andre Trouts.
In a separate but possibly related matter, at about 2 o'clock, the body of a 30-year-old male was discovered in the settlement with multiple stab wounds. He was declared dead on the scene by medical personnel. The South African Police Service strongly condemns these violent acts, which bear the hallmarks of vigilante killings.
Ekurhuleni Mayor Dr. Xhakaza has called on the DA to account for how alleged crime kingpin Vusmuzi Cat Matlala infiltrated the metro under its administration. It emerged more than a year ago that Matlala's vehicles were fitted with blue lights that were unlawfully supplied by EMPD Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi. The metro senior cop was recently implicated at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, where he was accused of granting undue favours to Matlala. Xhakaza has told the EWN that he believes the infiltration of the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department